I'm alive. So let's start this off right.
Dreams in a metal shine, crushing weight in this life of mine. Too young in the fire's deep, from this earth to your secret sea. As we operate in a world of dust, strength to carry through life's cruel gusts. Precious and pure untamed we stand in the arms of the
Yeah, it's Osmium commercial.
From the depths into the light, you and I through
I think the band's name is Osmium Wizards.
your essence we seek more. Silent power, unbroken soul, through the toughest heart its toll. Invisible yet crystal clear, in your shell there's no fear. Ancient treasure beneath our feet, crushed by time yet pure and sweet, rising through the dark abyss, offering us the purest kiss. Osmium rage in a world of dust, strength to carry through life's cruel gusts. Precious and pure, untamed we stand in the arms of the bravest land. Molten rage in a world of dust, strength to carry through life's cruel gusts. Precious and pure, untamed
Hey, what's up, Mary?
we stand in the arms of the bravest land.
Pretty long Osmium commercial I got going here.
From the depths into the light, you and I through chaos soar. In your essence, we seek more. Molten rage and fiery night. From the depths into the light, you and I through chaos soar. In your essence, we seek more. Silent power, unbroken soul. Through the toughest heart, its toll. Invisible yet crystal clear. In your shadow, there's no fear. Ancient treasure beneath our feet, crushed by time yet pure and sweet. Rising through the dark abyss, offering us the purest kiss.
And that is thanks to JM Unleashed. He made that for us. And thank him kindly for that. I wanted to talk a little bit about, and I don't know where anyone sits in your life and what you want to do, what you plan to do, or whatever. But I come across information, so I talk about it. And this is pertinent to something that and that is I plan on trying my best and will succeed at being a boat builder. And there's a couple new laws out that it's like the Shipbuilding Act. And what it's going to do is it's going to create or recreate our maritime industry by building infrastructure in shipyards and for Americans who get into boat building, all different types of boat building, mostly bigger vessels. But if it's made in America, I'm sure you can find some subsidy or tax advantage with this new bill that they've got. It's called the Shipbuilding Act of 2024. It will be passed, and they are going to build over 200, what is it, 250 to 300 meter long boats in different ports throughout America. So there's going to be opportunity for boat builders and for jobs. This is a future industry that's going to be coming. So if we need to build 200 1,000 foot long boats or thereabouts, between 750 to 1,500 foot boats, that's going to require a lot of workers in a lot of different areas. So no one's talking about this stuff to you, but it is of economic, or could be of economic gain to people who are have any kind of from ironwork to pipe fitting to electrical. All of that is involved in these boats. So there's going to be opportunity to open up companies and get government contracts. And that's what I wanted to bring to people's attention when I say there's a V-shaped recovery coming. If you don't take advantage of it, you're not going to get it. But there is a V-shaped recovery coming. And if you're in the right industries and have the right skills, you will prosper. And you won't, if shit hits the fan, you're still going to prosper because you're in the right industry and you have the right skills and you were in early. Those combination of things usually breed success. And since I've heard no one talk about the shipbuilding industry, I figured I'd put my 2 cents in there since I'm going to be getting into it. Excuse me. Sorry, I had a little sneezing fit. I didn't want you to hear you guys hear me sneeze. But anyhow, that's one of the things I want to talk about tonight. Is there anything any of you guys want to discuss? I am open. Well, the panel's open too. If anyone wants to come up on panel, you can do like I'm doing and put an avatar up, and you won't have to show your face. Or you can put some questions down in chat if that's what you'd like to do. Slurp smoke, yeah. Yeah, Good Morning Snacker does the synchronized slurp. He comes on 2:30 Pacific time pretty much every day. What's up, Indy? Oh, you coming up on panel, Indy? How nice of you. I'm kidding, of course. No, actually, Art, I'm sorry I didn't see your comment. That song was totally done through AI generation, and it was 100% JM Unleashed. He is 100% for that Osmium music video, and it's all, from my understanding, done by artificial intelligence, and he's getting real good at that stuff. And there's the man himself. I was just telling Art Collector about your Osmium music video, and I decided I was going to name the band, since it's an artificial intelligence band and you didn't give it a name, I was going to call them the Osmium Wizards. So that way, if you want to maybe expand your repertoire on your show and start doing music videos of music that you create, it might take off, Jay. And you might be like, be on the million or the 100,000 subs list sooner than you think. Because that's actually a good song. I don't know how you did it, but bravo to you, brother. But yeah, shipbuilding industry, anything you can think of, America is going to be building over 200 ships. I could give statistics, but they would shock and awe you. One of the statistics is in the past 4 years, America built 4 ships at about 1,000 foot long. China built 1,700. And luckily enough, our government is going to be a government of America again here real soon. And they've already passed this bill called the Shipbuilding Act, or they're passing it. And it's going to provide infrastructure repair and upgrades to our existing ports of and shipbuilding areas and open new ones. So the job opportunities will be there coming up, and anything from welder, fitter, crane operator, forklift, truck driver, electrician, sprinkler fitter, HVAC. All of those trades are going to be needed when they build these 200 boats in different areas along the shorelines of America. Probably a couple out here in California, Texas, Florida, along the East Coast, Philadelphia. You know, the typical shipyards. They're going to start retrofitting and upgrading them, and America is going to go into building ships again by mandate of a new law they're fixing. That's called the Shipbuilding Act. So prepare for that financially. You can prepare for that by learning a skill in that area that interests you. It'll take a while to get the money up. It'll probably be a year out before they start, maybe a year and a half. But by then you can get the skill up and get yourself a job in a good career area, because it takes a while to build 200 ships. We don't build them that fast here in America. And like I said, subsequent businesses and all of that, the economies will grow in every area that they build the ships in. Those economies of that area will grow, and you can prosper. If you're positioned, it's all about positioning. I've been working on a catamaran, a solar wind power catamaran now for a couple of years, and it's going to benefit me highly. So any subject anyone want to talk about? As usual, the link is in the description above. Oh yeah, Indy has a great channel. Throw your channel. You did great. Thank you, JM. You guys are so far ahead of me. Yeah, no, everyone's sub to each other. Indy's got a great show. She also, her and JM will get you through. Yeah, no, we will not be talking about that. As a matter of fact, I'm half tempted to delete that comment. Yeah, JM just reminded me the last live stream I did of the unboxing. It took less than 24 hours for YouTube to delete that video. And they actually threatened me with a strike. So I protested, and I've called Paul Stamens, left a message. I'm going to call him again tomorrow, see if I can't actually talk to him, see if he can't pursue this, and see if he can't, see if they'll stop censoring his stuff, because he's got patents that prove everything I said is 100% true and accurate. And they still took my video down for false health information, which is a crock of poopy squat, but it's their show. They run it. I just can't talk about certain things. So in other words, yeah, basically I can't tell you guys about good health information, because I got to go through the Google doctors, and they have to go through Biden administration, and he's losing power. So they're going to sell you whatever they want to sell you until they get out of office or whatever. Yeah, that's a sore subject. They keep taking down my YouTube videos. All I do is to keep posting the truthful, honest health information that can help every one of us. And it gets deleted for me. And of course, I lost 40 viewing hours, taking me back down to 2,225 viewing hours. I've been stuck there for about a month now. No matter how many videos I turn out, I don't seem to get more viewing hours than that. I think I'm being actively suppressed by Google and YouTube, but no matter. That's not what we're here for. We're here to chit chat and talk about stuff other than mushrooms. Yeah, and it's chat first. She does chat and music, changes up every week. First 3 hours we chat, then 3 hours of music, and then vice versa the next week. All new artists, local artists to different areas of the country come on her show. She's got some good people. Like I said, Frank Zampa. What's his name?
Terzo.
Oh, Terzo. I keep thinking Frank Zappa. Frank Terzo has a great channel too.
Yeah, Indy's one of the few people that I know that pulls people from many, many, many different communities, you know, in the YouTube space and beyond, other social media platforms too. Brings them all into one spot. And, you know, we all know music is universal, right? And so to have half the show be independent musicians of varying quality levels. Like I consider myself to be, very, very amateur. And you've got everything from very amateur right to professional. And so you have that for half the show. And then the other half of the show talking about current affairs, what's going on in the world, what's going on in the various communities, I think is really, really cool. There are other people doing that, but Independent Many United, I think, probably does the best job of it, in my opinion.
She's the only one I go to, and I don't do music, so you're right on what you said about drawing different communities together.
Yeah. Yep.
Will
And
be
like,
giving predictions on what, Mary? I can give you a prediction on platinum. By spring of next year, the price will start going up, and it'll never drop to as low as it is now ever again. So my suggestion or prediction, an unfinancial advice prediction with my broken crystal ball is, for those people that don't have platinum by the end of Q1, you will always wish you'd have bought it. That's all I can say. You'll wish you'd have bought it early, because once it starts going up, the manipulation is ended on it, and the manipulation is unraveling right now on the control of the price of platinum, and yeah, it's going to go up. I mean, there is a possibility it'll only go up to like around maybe 2,000 or so, and then hold there for a little while. But after that, there's going to be no option for it to go nothing but upwards. What's up, 79?
We've got 79 in the house. Welcome in. Yeah, and for anyone that's looking to get platinum in the physical form, these American Platinum Eagles, I think, are probably a decent way to get it if you have the cash. I would go for full 1 ounce.
Yeah.
Coins. You can get them in bars and stuff like that too, but the picture that I've got there, that's what I'd be going for. Some people don't, some people just want to get exposure to the price, and there's ETFs for that, but I'd still go for physical.
You got 10th ounce, quarter ounce, half ounce platinum coins out there, American Silver Eagle or American Platinum Eagles, that you can get if you can't afford a 1 ounce. But at the price right now, as far as that goes, and as far as investing in a commodity or an asset price wise, it would be silver, platinum, and then if you're really robustly wealthy, pick yourself up some gold, or go for the fractional gold. But silver is actually your best bet for us poor folk, and fractional platinum would be your second best, and then a full ounce of platinum would be third best, and then fractional gold would be fourth best.
Yeah.
In my opinion, unprofessional, non-financial advice opinion. Yeah. Oh yeah, and crystallized osmium, you got to throw that in there too. It actually is going up pretty nicely. And the things and where the monetary gain can come from in crystallized osmium is if you create or produce a piece of jewelry for it to go in, because then anytime you take precious metal and turn it into jewelry, you get a 100 to 500% increase in value instantaneously. So depending on your perception of precious metals and the gains you get in precious metals, there are those people that have the thought process of, I'll buy it, the price will go up. And that is a thought process. There are those that have the process of, hey, I'll buy it, I'll make something with it, and then sell it for 3 times as much as I bought it for because I made something with it. And then I'll buy 3 ounces. And that is a faster way to get a return on investment on your precious metals. But it's all depends on your mindset, your skill set, and what you want to put into it to get out of it. But the point being is there's no right way or wrong way to invest in precious metals, as long as you invest in them. What you do with them after you invest in them is up to you. There's lots of different strategies, and you will hear lots of people. Ninja has a strategy where he's going to got out of stocks, went full in crypto because it cycles, and he is 100% correct. Everything runs cycles. Right now, it's just a crypto cycle for the next maybe month or two. And then he said he's going to pull out and go into silver because it's going to go exponential. And he's kind of sort of right there too. But what he left out is platinum, because they usually run together. And he already bought 20 ounces of what those coins you see there. He did that over a year ago. He bought it at like $9.60. So he got a good deal when he bought it. But he got 20 of them, so he does have money. But yeah, silver will run probably start its good run beginning of Q2. It'll have action before then, but it'll start running probably beginning of Q2.
79's got a really good question there. Who sets the price for osmium? My answer would be I think it's the Osmium Institute.
The people that have the monopoly. That's the great thing about diamonds. I mean, crystallized osmium.
I'll drop. I previously dropped a link there for Ian's website. He sells silver, platinum, osmium, gold, and I'm going to drop the link for where I check out the osmium prices.
Yep. And if anyone wants to, if you got good deals out there, just like Independent Minis channel, but different. I don't do music orientated stuff, but financial stuff. If you guys find a good deal out there, spread the word to, hey, what's up, Southeast Wolverine? Spread the word to the rest of the people in the chat, and let all of us in on, that good deal, because that's how you become better off. Is you get good advice from people that have just did it themselves, and next thing you know, we're all making money off of it, or at least have the opportunity. And that, opportunity is where it's at. Either you answer the door or you don't answer the door. It's up to you.
Yeah. And sometimes, you want to check out the markets and dip your toe in or feel it out for a bit first. And so if you've got those resources in advance, you can become, comfortable and familiar with them. And frequently you'll know when and where is a good deal. But I'm also going to drop another link here. Find bullion prices for anyone that's looking at online precious metals dealers. This findbullionprices.com is a good link for comparing prices of various online bullion dealers. If you're looking for if you're really looking for the deals, that's a good spot to check.
And oddly enough, that's another thing. When it comes to the deals, in a bull run on metals, it's good if you save $1 or $2, I'm sure. But in the end result, it's a have or have not. Don't let $1 or $2 stop you from buying. Because, sure. Once the run starts, if you said, oh man, it's $1 or $2 too expensive, you might never get that chance again. We are in a bull run. And if you look at a 30-year chart of silver, we're ending the handle of a cup and handle. Two things happen after that. It either crashes to zero or it goes exponential. That's the history of charts, and that's the silver chart in a sentence. It's ending a 30-year cup and handle. It will probably jump up into the hundreds, and it'll do it relatively quickly. So to save $1 or $2 and not buy it, trying to save that $1 or $2, you could miss out. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow. I'm just saying, no one could see. Everyone wants to break things out. Well, if I knew a better time period that it would happen, I could do this and that. We don't know the exact time. So the prudent thing would be just get some. Bottom line, just get some. It's cheap right now. Last year it was cheaper. If you didn't get it then, the next cheapest time is kind of sort of right now. It might drop down to 28. But, then you got premiums, and there's another thing you got to think. As the price goes down, the premiums go up. So are you saving $1? Probably not. You'd only be saving 50 cents, because that other 50 cents going to the dealer, because he wants to make money and needs to make money as well. And the price is going down, so he doesn't want to not make money. He doesn't want to lose as much money. So he's going to add, a little bigger premium so he doesn't lose as much money. So that means you're not going to get it as close to spot as you think you are. So in reality, $1 or $2 swing is negligible. because of the way the business of coin and precious metals works with premiums and
It's a
tax. and all that
shallow
stuff.
market.
Yeah, you know.
Market, very volatile. It can really move either direction really fast.
Yeah. And why kick yourself in the butt? Oh, it just went down $3. I lost $30 on that 10 ounce I bought. No, you didn't, because you didn't sell. So don't think like that. Think positive. Hey, great. Now I can get another one. Or hey, now I can afford one instead of having to wait 2 weeks to get 10. You know, always have a positive outlook on things. What's up, Nickel? Positivity will get you further in your own life and your own happiness and your own health. Because stress definitely makes you unhealthy, and that's a scientific fact.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. Stress is a killer.
Oh, it's one of the main causes of heart issues.
Mm-hmm.
And drinking and smoking and I mean everything bad. I mean, stress related. So don't minimize that as much as possible by having a different perspective, and don't get a perspective on buying precious metals where $1 or $2 will stress you out. That's all I'm suggesting, and it's only a suggestion. I don't give financial advice.
The biggest mistake that I see people make is, they watch the charts and they start monitoring it, and they're starting to get interested in it, and they wait for it to really start moving, and then they buy.
That's the start of FOMO, and that's why I'm trying to talk to people right now. Don't wait for the FOMO by talking yourself out of it for $1, because then the price starts going up, and instead of only getting 10 ounces, you're now getting 20 ounces, and the price was $3 more than you were crying about the $1 or $2. That's the start of the psychology of the FOMO is happening right over the next month or so.
Yeah. It is a tough thing to do though, because when it's heading down, it's difficult to be excited to buy something that's going the opposite way that you want.
Yeah, it's counterintuitive, but it's smart.
Yeah, if you can do that and then just hang on to her for the long haul, hopefully, you can pass it down to the next generations and set them up.
Where's P Nice at? I didn't say anything for P Nice. Is he here? Hey, well, he is here. I'll be some bitch. What's up, P Nice? Sorry about that, brother.
I missed it too.
Holy mac and cheese. Thank you, Andy. You helped me catch that. He's a friend I made over at Good Morning Stackers on 2:30 Pacific Standard Time. An Australian guy is big into the Perth Mint. Might want to check him out if you're into Perth Mint, actually. Their coins and designs of their Kugran and the koala and the kangaroo and all this. He's got some good link ups for pricing, I think, through the Perth Mint itself, actually.
I think Perth Mint is second to none. That is the premier mint.
Yeah, he actually worked. P Nice. No, P Nice is, no, excuse me, my bad. P Nice is from Uneducated Economist, I believe. Yes, okay. There's this other guy, Pete Repeat. That's who's from Good Morning Stacker. P Nice, I believe I met over at Uneducated Economist and All Night Hype. They're a moderator. Good dudes. But yeah, the Perth Mint is awesome, and I would check out Good Morning Stackers because he has a link for, if you like that artwork of the Perth Mint and the coins that they produce. He's got a good connection, a good price to get that.
Yeah, I think their most iconic coins are the Perth Mint koala bears, the koala coins, and the kookaburras. Beautiful, and they had year after year after year different designs on them. They became very, very collectible, and the prices shot right up. But I've noticed now in the aftermarket or the secondary market, people sell them off and they come in. The prices on them have dropped quite a bit. You can pick up some of those highly collectible Perth Mint coins at a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and again, they're only going up. And you should watch. Here's something that people don't talk about either. They say, "Oh, we're going to run out of silver," and to a point that is kind of sort of correct, even though it's not correct. economics dictates that at the price it's at right now, yes, we will run out of silver at a certain date. Now, having said that, there's a flip side to that coin. The price is depending on quantity, and mining drives quantity. So as the quantity lowers, the price rises. Mines that they have, I know of one in Alaska, pretty decent sized silver mine, that's ready to go. It's just the owners are like, we don't need the money yet. We're going to wait for the price to go up. Have you heard of that? Hold on. Following, who is that guy? Not Morgan. That other guy, he does like his own coin. It's PM, I think, coin.
First Majestic.
Yeah, First Majestic. They withhold their ore till a higher price, and so apparently, like, I don't know, he thought he was like the first to do that kind of thing, to withhold, and it's a good thing to do,
Just on a short term, like just for 3 months at a time or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a prudent business move. They should have always been doing that, and the rest of the miners should too. But anyhow, back to mining. As the price goes up, you're going to hear a lot more mines opening up. I'm hearing all the time in this one show I'm subscribed to, Manunet Mining. It's an Australian show. They do little 5-minute segments. All they have been showing mostly is drilling results all throughout Australia. They only do that right before mining, And I also might add that I had a friend who passed away a couple of years ago. His son spent 10 years in Canada doing nothing but drill core samples for mining. And these are all mines that haven't opened yet because the price isn't high enough. So as the price goes up on these metals, new mines will open up because it's all dictated by price and technology. And that is also why I advocate for micronuclear. And you take a look at that because, and it's not nanotech might be into micronuclear. I'm not 100% positive. But the micronuclear technologies companies that are actually producing micronuclear reactors are selling to miners. And when you think about like Canada, if you look at the geography of Canada and you look at say one valley in the middle north end of Canada, 400 miles away from any road, how much money would you have to spend just to get electricity to that site? That's a heck of a cost off the top. Yeah. And that prevents a lot of these mines from opening, because at $30 an ounce, it's not worth that extra several millions of dollars to put electrical in 400 miles. But now it is worth it to say spend $7 million on a micronuclear reactor that you and another mining company two valleys over can share the power off of, and you can start mining right off the bat. You can expect that going to be happening, and it's going to happen soon, which will open up new mines, adding to the supply that's being dwindled down by technological advancements. And that's where you look at platinum. And when I say technological advancements, there's a lot of technological advancements that are coming that require platinum. To prove that, all you got to do is look at who bought half the supply of platinum this year and why they bought it. Well, for the first time ever, platinum was purchased in large quantities, about 45% of the world's supply to be exact, for a new technology, a new engine for automobiles. And 10 car companies contracted China to build these new car engines that require platinum, first time ever. Wow, that's a change no one's talking about. But is that also not, well, hold on, if those engines are successful and people like them, they'll want to build more. So that means you just added an industry that needs half the world's supply of platinum. Well, there wasn't that much extra left over after the use cases that platinum's used for now. So you're going to have a shortfall. Add to that, Impala Mines is going bankrupt. That's the second largest platinum miner in South Africa. And you're looking at a big time platinum shortage. And that's where Clean Air Metals comes in. But they're not actually going to be pulling ore till the end of next year in a significant amount. Hey, what's up, Dave? So, you're going to have a year or two, well, probably a year easy of a significant shortfall in the supply of platinum as to the new needs because of the technological advances coming around the corner. And that's when the price will spike to God and heavens above. It'll spike. And that'll break the stranglehold of the manipulation, is the transference of platinum being mined from in South Africa, damn near solely 80% or so, to probably about 60% of the world's platinum will be mined in Canada. And that's never happened before, but it also breaks the financial control that's had on platinum now contractually by BRICS and China. So once you get around, if you know anything about contractual law, having a mine open up in Canada breaks all the contracts all the contracts that China has and BRICS has with South Africa are null and void with this new company, this new mine. So they now control what is it called, the price, free market price. They can, as they already have, state they found it and state they're not going to mine until the price of platinum goes up. Well, at that point in time, all big corporations out in the world are saying, okay, well, this manipulation's bullshit because we need this platinum and we don't give a crap about China. And they start making moves. And when they start making moves, you can see that the manipulation is fixing to break. And that's what I see. And that's why I say buy platinum. But that's just non-financial advice that I have from my personal research over 3-4 years of looking at platinum. And I still say I should be on the World Platinum Council because I know more than those guys.
Hey, Hunter. And I think platinum's even, the pricing of it's even more volatile than silver. So like what will happen, in my opinion, with platinum is in a matter of a 1 or 2 week period, it'll jump. It'll jump like 30-40%.
Easy.
And then people will just be like, dang, I missed it. Like I remember when platinum and palladium both took off.
Yeah.
Well, they were taking off back in 2015, 2016 and just skyrocketing. And I was like, holy cow, how did I miss that? And I completely missed the boat. But this time around, I'm not missing the boat on platinum anyway.
You better not be. You're talking to the Prince of Platinum. I've been telling you about it for too long.
Yeah. Well, like, and I'm not, I'm not all that wealthy, but I definitely like having, being diversified and having a little bit of each of these assets that are undervalued, right? Then you can just ride the wave.
Well, see, now, interesting thing here. Being that you're poor, as am I honestly feel everyone in that position should just naturally think about how they can maximize that investment, because it's so much more meaningful because we have so much less to invest. So it has to bring more meaning. So I always look to maximize my investment. And that's when the crystallized osmium came along. I was like, holy crap, this reinvents jewelry.
Yep.
When I saw that, is it a specific? Yes, it's a specific market. You can't go to your local coin shop in town and sell them crystallized osmium. They won't know what it is because it's that new. Now, if you go back to business 101, from my understanding, if you get in early, you're wealthy if you stick with it. A use case of that would be Bill Gates building windows in his garage and borrowed $500 from a neighbor. That neighbor's now a billionaire. Okay, for $500. Get in early. So using that premise, look at crystallized osmium. It's been in Europe for 8 years. High-end jewelry sales, 80, 100,000, 12,000. High-end stuff they're using this stuff for. And then it comes to America. It is so new, government has no regulation on it. They have no extra special tax on it like they do for gold and silver sales in certain states. It's
Yeah.
so new, they haven't been able to regulate and control it. And luckily, it's going to be sold out or quit being manufactured in the crystalline form in 2026 before a government could physically move fast enough to regulate. So it truly is a cryptocurrency of precious metals. It is unregulated. It is centralized. It's not decentralized. It is centralized to the Osmium Institute, but as it should be because it is an osmium thing. So you can't hold that against it. And it also has a great fingerprint. If you see on that domino there, for the size of the head of a pin of that one round piece of osmium, there's over 10,000 identification markers, and it's all been identified, microscope picture taken of, and put in a database. So when you buy a piece, you have a digital security feature built into it, which no other jewelry has. So that would add, going back to business, you're adding something new to jewelry. So if you have a new piece of jewelry and there's a new safety feature with that piece of jewelry, you've got new customers. Even if they even if they buy jewelry of some other type, they would want your jewelry for the special features of it. So, seeing as I'm poor, I look to do that because I also know, business-wise, the best way to turn an ounce of gold into 2 to 3 to 4 ounces of gold is make a piece of jewelry with it. So now you add crystallized osmium and you add gold. Now you got yourself a decent, well, for a poor person, a decent chunk of change on a profit margin, to where you could double your investment of what you used to make that thing. In other words, instead of, it took you one piece of crystallized osmium and 1 ounce of gold to make your thing, now you have 2 ounces of crystallized osmium, and there are 2 pieces of crystallized osmium and 2 ounces of gold and some cash. Being poor, I think that's a win, big time. And it doesn't take that much creativity to do. And it doesn't take that much skill, and it doesn't take that much equipment that's expensive to do the simplest of jewelries. Now, you do need to pay a jeweler if you get more high end, of course, but it's a low cost entry solution for maximizing profit of an asset. And using all business theory taught in college, it checks all the boxes. The only thing stopping is you doing it.
It turns riding the wave into actually powering along with the wave.
Yeah.
It leverages what you've already got.
Yeah, big time.
It does take some time, effort, and creativity. It takes all of those things that you said. It doesn't take a whole lot of any of them, but it does take a bit of all of them.
And a little effort and a little bit of your time. But if you want to get ahead, then what you're doing isn't getting you there. You can give a little extra time to something and give it a shot. Give it a try. Give it a chance. Learn that little new skill that might pan out for you, because you might find you intrinsically, hell, I'm an iron worker. I've been an iron worker most of my adult life. I'm in my mid-50s. I started out in my mid-20s. Ironwork. Here I am doing jewelry, cutting up gems and stuff for the first time. It's taken me a while to get into it and whatnot. But I mean, if I did it, come on, people. What's the creativity of an iron worker? Where's the bar?
Your creativity, it should not be defined by
your job,
by previous employment. That's right. Like I think that you're a pretty creative person. Not everyone is creative, so some people will struggle more. But yeah, anyone that's into arts and crafts, certainly like Nickel. I know Nickel has a lot of jewelry, and he knows a lot about them and the gemstones. He's a great resource for anyone that's looking into that, because he'll help you get through the learning curve quicker.
Yep. Give me about 30 seconds. I need to run out to my car real quick.
Sure.
Hold down the stage, please, sir.
Yeah, not a problem. Yes, Merry Christmas to you as well, Finn59. I agree with Dave here too, saying prices always go down when the bills are harder to pay. Just disregard that siren. We get tons of emergency vehicles flying by here. And self-discipline is hard but rewarding. That's right. If it wasn't difficult, it wouldn't be so rewarding, right? It'd be simple. But I think the best thing someone can do is keep an eye on the prices of things they want to buy and buy them when they're low. And don't be buying aggressively when they're high. I've gone through this on some of my own live streams and on some of Neil's previous live streams, where I like looking at the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average. And I've shown people how to actually plot that on the chart. And so the way I look at it is, if the price, say, of silver, or really any commodity like that, when it's below the 50-day and the 200-day moving average, that's when I consider it to be relatively inexpensive, and that's a good time to buy. If it's not below both, then if you're flushed with cash, you could still make a purchase, but I wouldn't be buying aggressively unless it's below both. And silver actually just dropped below both last week. So, to me, silver's a buy again.
Another way to look at, and that's a great presentation. I don't do charts, and I'm glad you do, because you bring that obviously to the table. I look at ratios, and if you look at, gold to silver, platinum to gold, platinum to silver, silver to gold, and all these ratios, and you stack them side by side, and you look at them and evaluate using the same evaluation for silver to gold, silver to platinum, platinum to gold, platinum to silver. You'll find that's why I say buy platinum, because right now, historically, those ratios, charted ratios, are skewed heavily in the favor of owning platinum right now. Whether or not you do or not, it depends on your perspective and what charts you're looking at. But if you do want to look at the ratio charts, add to that what JM said about those 50 and 200 days. What you said?
Yeah, I can pull one up if you want. Show you.
Yeah, sure. If you combine the ratios and the moving chart averages, that actually even makes it more of a prosperous time to purchase the precious metals that he's talking about, silver and me when I say platinum, because both those charts obviously lead to that.
So this right here is the price of silver charted in 15-minute increments. So each of these vertical lines here represents 15 minutes of time. And then on the right is the price. And on the bottom, you can see it's a very short time frame. But to get the 50-day and 200-day moving average, this is off Macro Trends, which is powered by TradingView. Actually, let me just drop the link in there right now, and then I'll show you how to do that.
Thanks for stopping by, P. Merry Christmas, brother. And tell All Nighter I gave you a wrench. He'll be jealous.
So what you want to do here is, because you want 50-day and 200-day moving average, or at least that's what I want, you want to switch the time frame to daily. So you go to day. And so now you can see this is going back to August of 2024. And we just put in indicators. Click on indicators. Just type on moving. And just go to a simple moving average. And I'm going to put in 2 of them. So I hit that twice. They're over here now. And go to settings on it. And the inputs is what we want. So length, we switch that to 1 to 50. And on the other one to 200. And I'm going to switch the color on that too, just so it's a little bit easier to see. So there we've got the red and the green vertical lines still showing the price of silver on a daily basis. The blue line shows what the 50-day moving average was. And the red line down here shows what the 200-day moving average is. So really, like for a stack, someone that's been stacking for 40, 50 years, and so we can scroll way out, they've been buying in for a long time. Any of the times when the price goes above both the 50 and 200-day moving averages, that's a good time to sell a little bit in my opinion. And for people that are buying, anytime it drops below both is a good time to buy. And you can look at this over long periods of time, and you'll find consistently, if you started out with a large amount and you consistently sold when it was above both, just sold a little bit, say like 2 to 5% of what you have, you did way better than most people. And same thing, if you're buying, say a couple times a year and you only bought when it was below both, you did exceptionally well in either case.
And if you add those two, you're a winner chicken dinner.
Yeah. So now that's the one way of looking, and I agree with Neil on ratios as well. So this doesn't have the gold.
Before you leave silver, could you throw up a 30-year silver chart to show
I can zoom it out.
Yeah, because I think that's the handle part that you just showed. See, boom. There's the cup and handle. 30-year cup and handle.
Might be easier to see it that way.
Yeah.
So you're saying this is the cup
and the handle is the handle. Yep, and it's still the break.
And cup and handle, for most people that don't know, in I guess like technical analysis, can frequently be an indicator of a moonshot, or at least a nice run. Would you agree with that, Neil?
Sorry, I was sneezing. Yes, I would agree with that. And I mean, it's an indicator of two things. The majority of the time, it's in the upward direction. Of course, you have to look at other indicators. But a majority of the time, it's a moonshot in the upwards direction. There have been times in history where it drops after that, but that has to do with other economic conditions being added to it. Under normal times, like now, it'll pump. It'll move. It's going to moonshot. Exactly when? Not exactly sure, but you're looking at a chart, so you're not believing what I'm saying. You're looking at a chart, and what now you got to do is find out what's up, Irma. All you got to do is find out how to read a chart and the definitions of the meanings of everything we're talking about, and then you look at it and determine for yourself, and you'll come to pretty much the same determinations we have. It's going to moonshot soon. And we are not financial professionals.
This right here is. Go ahead. This is the gold to silver ratio, which is to say how many ounces of silver would it take to make 1 ounce of gold. Right, and I think it should be around 50. And when you look at the American Silver Eagle and the American Gold Eagle, you can see that right there. It's a 50 to 1 ratio stamped right on those coins. But in any case, we're way above that now. So like right now, it would take over 80 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. So I think that's what you were talking about with the ratios that you look at too, right, Neil? I think that he agrees. And you may be muted or you may be away.
No, I was grabbing some milk for my tea. Sorry about that.
So back in 2011, that ratio dropped to 31. And that just shows how volatile these markets can be. But
back in 2011, that's when platinum hit its all-time high of $2,270 an ounce.
Yep. Let's take a look at platinum.
So there would definitely be a
just
huge potential in platinum and silver in that year.
And anytime you're looking at these charts, I would recommend, unless you're really good at reading charts and you really know what's up with them, I would recommend get rid of logarithmic scale here. Just uncheck that. The logarithmic scale is usually for like analysts to use. It just makes it easier for their eyeballs to read it. But I think for most people, logarithmic scale gives you an easier way of looking. So this is the price of platinum over the last Since 1969, anyway.
About 50 years.
40, 50, yeah. A little bit
Oh, it was
more.
2008. My bad. 2008. It's not 2011. I thought it was
Hey, Emerald,
2011.
we're just shooting the breeze. I think we've probably covered a dozen different topics so far. My phone keeps going off too.
We'll talk about cars if you want. Platinum and ratios, yeah. And silver and mining and shipping and business.
But we're not talking about mushrooms.
Hell no. That gets you a strike.
Yeah. That it does.
It's a shame.
Yeah. So I can bring that back up anytime you want, or share the screen if you want, Neil. It's up to you.
It's up to you. Whoever comes up on panel, man, I don't own this stuff. We talk about whatever. If you want to bring stuff up and talk about it, if I have to push a button to make it happen, I know how to push buttons. I'll make it happen. I'm not a control freak.
Yes, Dave's right too. So for anyone that's got millions or hundreds of millions of dollars that they're wanting to protect, from the digital and the banking system, you're only going to accumulate so much silver before it breaks your back, as Dave says.
Well,
so gold, platinum, osmium are all good alternatives once you're stocked up. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No. I was interrupting you. But it's all about perspective because, and I'll give a story for this. And this is one reason why, and this is not financial advice. Elon Musk, Bezos, Gates, and one other billionaire all went in about 1.5 years, 2 years ago on buying a silver mine in Iceland. Now, if you understand the cost of silver, they say it's about $13 an ounce to mine and get it into, it's 99.9 pure form, about $13, right? So they lowered the expense of their vehicles and their computers and their spaceships use silver. Now, if silver goes exponentially higher, their products will be ill affected by the price because they made that business move. Now, they will raise their prices for profit margin and gain, but not nearly as much as their competitors will have to. So their stocks will go through the roof. So, Tesla is not a bad investment using that as a dynamic to look at it for investing. Because if you own a lot of the mines and minerals of stuff that your product is made from, then you're not paying spot price. You just went from paying spot price to going, in silver's case, from paying 30 to paying 13. So you got a $17 discount every ounce you use. So those solar panels, now that 20 grams in that solar panel, it's costing you 60%, 50% less, 40, 60% less for the silver in that panel, but yet you increase the price, but not as much as your competitors, just enough to keep your stock prices going because your profit margin's through the roof anyhow. That's why you're still a billionaire. There is that way to look at it. And if you look at it that way, those are good companies to invest in. Not saying that you should look at it that way. I'm just saying if you look at it that way, you'd find those companies to be real good, longer term investments if you think the price of silver is going to go through the roof. Because those gentlemen bought a silver mine in anticipating of that exact fact. And they did it, I am most positive, for the same reason I just stated, because if I had their businesses, I would have bought 2 silver mines. And I'm uneducated. I'm not an uneducated economist. I'm an uneducated iron worker. I'd be uneducated. Uneducated. So yeah, if you look at, hey, what's up, Welshco? So if you look at it like that, what's up, C4? I would invest in those companies that those guys own that use silver to make their product because they will not be affected by a price increase in silver. Even though their products will go up, it won't go up exponentially like everyone else as well. And that'll make him even stronger as market manipulators and political manipulators. Not that I have a crystal ball for the future or anything. I'm just laying out the probability of things to happen because of things that have happened in the past. Using logic and deduction, there is no financial advice in there.
No, it's just sharing ideas, thoughts,
Sharing knowledge.
opinions. Yeah.
Sharing knowledge and opinions. Sharing is caring, and it is 'tis the time of season for caring. Oh, oh, oh. It's also a time to squirrel away a few gold pieces.
Can try to. It's not getting any easier though, that's for sure.
Emerald, was there a huge jump in it, or was it just a rise in price to $30 or so? Because I'm telling you right now, the price of platinum will be going up.
I think
And
it's
it won't come back
really
down.
low.
Because economics is changing. The controllers of the mining of platinum is starting to change. The number two South. Hey, what's up, Mike? The number 2 South African platinum miners fixing to go bankrupt, and there's a Canadian company that's going to take the number 1 spot, which is South Africa, and BRICS in number 2 spot for world platinum production, which they've not seen ever before in their lifetime. It'll affect BRICS, trust me. But hey, what's up, Ben? That might be why they're not talking about it. It'll affect a lot of things. There's a lot of things there. Rhodium, price of rhodium will probably crash. And if not, that Canadian company, Clear Metals, you want to invest in, because they're going to get rhodium and they're going to be selling it at $4,000 a freaking ounce. And it's going to be got right beside the platinum. So the rhodium will have paid for their platinum, the rhodium will have paid for their platinum extraction and palladium extraction and refining. they're gonna fucking make so much money out of investing in them real fast, and they'll probably end up paying dividends when they get up to like $30 or $40, and they're only like 6 or 7 cents right now.
This here is gold price is the blue line, and platinum is the burgundy. I thought you'd want to see this one, Neil. I know you like looking at the longer term. There we go.
Yeah. See that spread? What's the blue one?
Blue is gold.
Yeah.
And so platinum has been just
sideways,
long-term slump since 2011.
Yeah.
If not, like, debatably even before, like it was keeping up. Looked like it was going pretty neck and neck with gold for a while, right?
For a long while.
That's the beginning.
Actually, if that red line were to go back further, it would be on top of the blue line.
Yeah.
Because, from about 2007 all the way back to the beginning of charted time, platinum was significantly higher than gold.
This is a much shorter term now. Let's just look.
Then it joined BRICS. Then platinum joined BRICS, and it went sideways. Because if you look at the history books, you'll find out that when platinum on that chart, when it started going sideways and down, that's when they joined BRICS. And if you read what China said about why they got South Africa to join BRICS, they specifically stated, and I did a video on this, they wanted South Africa for their unique resources, and they listed their unique resources as gold, platinum, and diamonds. And now none of them are unique to South Africa, so they have no use for South Africa.
Good question, Mary. What does Trump mean when he says we are entering the golden era?
Gold is everywhere.
I hope, and I have a feeling that what he means is that they're going to try to transition back to a stronger
Gold,
monetary
gold standard?
system. I think so, and I hope so. But you never know. Like the Federal Reserve and all the world's central banks have it so easy, having pretty much every country in the world off of the gold standard, because it allows them to just print into oblivion, into infinity, and line their own pockets. That's why all the world's central banks own all the
Or,
gold. They own it all.
or
Because they took all the peasants, sorry, all the people off of the gold standard and they put it in their own pocket. It's actual massive theft, in my opinion.
or what the golden age could be is my conspiracy theory on why we signed or why NASA signed a contract to have SpaceX send a rocket out to the Kuiper Belt with what is required by international global law to possess the rocks that are out there. And the rock that they're going to is worth 700 plus quadrillion dollars. And it's going to be sending back the information from the beacons in 2026. And if that is in fact true, then America will actually own 770 quadrillion dollars worth of gold, according to the new monetary theories and laws on ownership of stuff in space. So it could be the golden age is, instead of the ultra wealthy that are in controlling all that money, it would actually be a percentage turned over to actual American people. And that would give us the golden age, and it would probably last for 1,000 years.
So now you guys know when most countries were taken off the gold standard, right?
1971 for us.
Yeah, it was all in the mid to late 60s, early 70s, which is right here.
Yeah.
Right here. And this goes back to the 1800s. This goes back to
Yep.
1833.
Yeah,
Stable until they remove the entire globe off of the gold standard and then put all the gold in their own pockets, remove it from the people, and look what happens to the price. Ka-ching!
Yep.
Right? Oh, sorry, you guys don't own gold and silver. It's not in your coins anymore. Sorry about that, guys. All you have is paper, cotton, and polymer, and nickel-plated steel now.
Damn your bad luck.
Yeah.
Too bad you didn't do research.
Sorry about that.
Isn't it a beautiful thing how that chart with your narration explains how we all are servants?
Yep. And make no mistake, by no stretch of the imagination is it only the U.S. And in fact,
oh no, by God, no.
The U.S. has been probably the most insulated from this.
Yes, very much
Look
so.
at countries like Venezuela, Zimbabwe, Hungary.
Well,
devastated.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the gold, when you price, this is priced in US dollars. When you go and price gold in these other countries, even Canada's, the chart is even more exponential.
Yeah, it's even more. Oh my God.
Yeah. And I think that that's because, in America, you do have more checks and balances. You've got a stronger constitution. You've got more politicians that are actually patriotic and actually do care about the people. But just the fact that this is still going on shows that something ain't right. And so I hope, Marion, that's a long way of answering your question, but I hope him saying we're entering the golden era means that maybe all the gold that the Federal Reserve has will have to be refunded back because it is the proceeds of a crime. Can I say that here on YouTube?
I'm sure you can, because what I'm fixing to
I just
say
did. That's my opinion, though.
All of China's gold is owed to the world. But we won't go into that because that goes into stuff that I know I'll get a strike over
Yeah.
because it's truthful. That's why we're not going to talk about it. But in reality, once this economic thing is over, there's always compensation made by the loser if they do harm to the other. And it's always been that way, except for when America came around. Instead of occupying the countries that we conquered, we chose to allow them to rebuild at our expense, which means since World War II, several countries have been taxing and tariffing America without us taxing and tariffing them so they can rebuild their countries and economies. And it's about time, and it's been planned for that to change anyhow, and the time is now.
What is the coin? What's the coin of the realm? Mary asks. I've heard
Oh,
that phrase
English.
before, but I don't really know what it means.
That's an English coin.
Is it?
Sovereign English coin. Yeah, coin of the realm is to me, with my Scottish heritage, when I lived at coin of the realm is the Queen's coin. Back then it was the Queen's coin because she was alive. She was actually a lot younger back then.
Mhm.
They had pence as well. Those were like worth a couple pennies. So you could actually buy stuff with them.
Yeah, they'll own everything and they still won't be happy.
Well, if my conspiracy theory on this space stuff is true, they'll own nothing. America will own it all. And that means if done in the right way, the U.S. citizens will have no tax because the government will definitely be able to self-fund if they own that much. And every bit of technology that the government has that they don't use for military tech, we'll have access to. And Lord knows with unconstrained financial arm for research and development. Oh my God! Yeah, we'll be the first ones having living accommodations on the moon and mining asteroids and all kinds of stuff, and no one will ever economically be able to touch us ever again. We'll be hey, man, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. There's this one other dude. He did a video on 5 countries that could be annexed by America logically.
Yeah.
And one of it was part of Mexico, which I 100% agree with for security reasons because of what they've done and the lack of control of that government over its actual government. The other one was Canada, and they gave logical reasons for that. Another one was Greenland, which I've advocated for, and the reasons for actually Greenland are more positive than all of them. Then one of them was, I think, the Falkland Islands or some islands down there, and then
Argentina.
no, that wasn't one of them. I don't remember the 5th one.
I think the Falkland Islands are owned by Argentina, are they not?
No, it's owned by England, brother. Yeah, no, because the largest or the second largest world's oil reserve is right off the coast of the Falkland Islands, and it's. You remember the Falkland Wars? Falkland Island Wars. Yeah, that was England's taking the islands back from Argentina because Argentina tried to occupy them, and England said no, and they paid America to take our navy down there because it was quicker. And we actually sent a couple one Ranger battalion, airborne Ranger battalion that did a jump on them.
Yeah.
And, we actually took the island back in behest of England and then handed it over to them so they could maintain the oil rights to that oil reserve off the coast of Falkland Islands. And whoever owns the Falkland Islands has the legal rights through international law and maritime law to that sector of the ocean where that oil reserves that.
Huh.
Yeah, there's reasons that countries do things, brother.
It's amazing it would all be over money.
Huh?
It's amazing it would be all over the
It's always that way. Throughout history, it's that way. There was this African king that no one talks about because the Sahara overtook most of his kingdom and it's been trashed. But back, I think in around 1300 AD time period, I believe it was, he was like a trillionaire. He had so much gold and silver and jewels. He didn't war with any country, but yet he defeated and took over every country that he went to. Back then, they were more like Greek city-states. They weren't really big countries. They were smaller countries. But every city he went to, because he brought like a 1,000 servants, royal servants, like 20,000 royal guards, because he was so wealthy. He had so much, and they all had gold and silver. Anyhow, how he defeated every city and country he went to was through hyperinflation. He would hyperinflate their economies by bringing in so much wealth, and then he'd leave, and their economies would collapse, and he'd take it over economically, and he wouldn't fire a shot, and he consumed countries that way. And that's what I believe is a repeat of what's been trying to be done to America that has been stopped. But it is a proven, and it has been attempted in the past. Saddam Hussein tried something like that. So there are other reasons for war that people don't even consider. But if you really want to know what the weapon of mass destruction everyone makes fun of not being there, the reason why you didn't know about it is because they didn't want to scare them, because consumer confidence is a big part of the financial system. And if you had found out that Saddam Hussein was fixing to dump a couple $1 trillion of perfect 100% perfect counterfeit US dollars to crash the US economy, even if we got that out of there, your confidence level in the US dollar would have dropped. And they couldn't have that. So he took the punch and said, yeah, just a little make fun of me. I mean, he's not a good person, George Bush, by no means. But in my opinion, the weapon of mass destruction was the perfect die of the $100 bill that he had and he was making to collapse our economy and kill America economically, just like his part of the world did in the 1300s. And then they don't teach that history because, no one teaches economics or a history of economics. But if you look at it in different worlds and different continents, you'll find out a lot of cool stuff. Exactly. Welshco.
Osmium is a platinum group, precious metal. It is significantly more rare than diamonds or gold. While it is toxic in its natural state, it is completely harmless in this crystalline form. The crystal structures are unique on every piece, which is the key to a very impressive security feature. It is very strong, hard, and reflective, similar to, or greater than diamonds. The price performance of osmium has been strong and steady, making it a suitable store of value. We see it becoming popular with stackers, and those who like knockout bling on their jewelry. Due to osmium's high value density, it is relatively easy to store, and easy to move or transport. It will never tone or tarnish. Think generational wealth.
Awesome possum. No, I don't think 79's here anymore. 888.
Yeah, it might.
Yeah, it is more environmentally friendly, I guess. You only buy from ethical sources. In other words, probably not South Africa. I don't know. I haven't researched that. It depends on the definition of ethical, I guess.
Knockout Bling is right. Check out the video that Neil played right near the beginning of this very live stream.
Yeah.
You'll see some of that Knockout Bling with the osmium featured right then and there. Yeah, you literally could hide it in your nose in the form of
and it's unregulated right now because it's so new that it's not even considered more than Now, you walk through customs, not a one of them would know what it is, much less the value to even ask you a value. They'd probably think it's like part of a kid's toy or something. You know, who knows what the hell they think, but they damn sure wouldn't associate dollar denomination to it. And a transfer of wealth across nations, easy. Easy, without a problem. Like Andy Sheckman did a video where he was going from Canada to America with like 300 ounces of gold in coin form, and he got stopped for several hours and all this stuff because of the amount of cash. And it was figured out that they could only add it up in the dollar amount that was on the coin instead of the actual spot price. So he was able to go on, but it took him like 6 hours in customs to get that figured out. If you had that kind of cash in osmium, stored in osmium, you could walk through the metal detector and they wouldn't even stop you, and you'd have all that same amount of cash that Andy had in a briefcase of gold in your freaking pocket. And he lost his flight because they held him up for 6 hours, and you'd walk right through. It wouldn't even get ping on the metal detector, and no one knows about it. It's not regulated. Then you get to where you're at, you hook up with the network of the osmium peoples, and you sell it. Get your capital in whatever format you want it in. Crypto, gold, silver, cash, whatever, however, you know, whatever it's looking like whenever you do that. Economies seem to be changing rather fast. At least around the world, America's going to be the last one to fall, and we're not going to fall. So that means other countries are actually already falling. And I think you'll find the reason why Turkey is wanting to go to war is because what's the last, what is the saying before an economic crash? Anyone in chat? What do they always do right before an economic collapse?
Raise interest rates.
They take you to war.
Gotcha.
And that's what Turkey's fixing to do in Syria. And you know, so if you know that principle of governing, and it is a principle of governance, every country does it. It's irrelevant. It's an economic principle of governing or governance, whichever. Yeah, and I did a video on why I believe they were experiencing their inflation back when I started talking about trade agreements and treaties, because they're actually were trying to build a second canal beside the one canal leading from the Black Sea to the Mediterranean. There's a treaty right now that does not allow Russian warships through that canal, so Russia has no access to the Mediterranean. That's why you never see Russian warships in the Mediterranean, even though they have access, because of a treaty that was made. But if Turkey built a second canal, which they were attempting and starting, that would be a new canal, and new treaties and trade agreements would have to be made for the passage through that canal, and Russia would have been able to put their warships in the Mediterranean, and that would have disrupted all kinds of commerce and all kinds of things. So Turkey got hit economically, because that's the first stage of wars. You hit them economically, and their inflation went up to over 30, then it went up to like 180%, and then they tried to come in and said, oh, we'll stop the canal, but no one reported about that. And then they stopped the canal, but their inflation's already fucked. And now I think to save themselves, this is all speculation, by the way, I believe to save themselves, they're gonna go to war to save their economy, because it's been trashed because of their attempt to make a second canal to bypass the treaty that would not allow Russian warships into the Mediterranean. But that's just the pathway I see. No one talks about that one. I did a video on it. That would have changed the world economy. That would have changed everything. I think the canal now goes through Constantinople is what I call it. It's some other name now, since the Ottomans grabbed control of it.
Well, one thing I can say for sure is there's a whole heck of a lot more going on than people are going to get in their mainstream media.
Oh, yeah.
Even if you dig deep, it's still going to be very difficult for you to even scrape the surface of what's really going on.
Yeah, they're not telling you anything about. As a matter of fact, I was kind of proud of myself. I did that video on that island northwest of Madagascar and the damage done and all this stuff. And then 4 hours after my video came out, a couple larger YouTube video news stations did a news story on them, but I was like 4 hours ahead of them, so I felt pretty good about that. Yeah, I didn't get the tens of thousands of views, but
No, but it shows that you're nimble and agile with it, right?
well, yeah, and it's again, I jump all over the place with my reports. I don't. I concentrate a lot in West Africa because there's a lot happening in West Africa that's very important to the rest of the world. But any report I come across that's newsworthy, in my opinion, that I haven't heard about, I'll do a report on. So it could be anywhere from Madagascar, West Africa, Asia, Australia, New Zealand. I think I did one on New Zealand. Maybe I didn't do that one. I got like 1,100 plus videos.
New Zealand's actually a really cool country.
It is very unique.
Yeah. It's one of the least likely countries that would ever be attacked if there was a major world war.
Well,
Like from
there's
the
several
research-
reasons for that.
Yeah, many.
For one, there's no reason to be there. I mean, there's no shipping routes, there's no air routes, there's no water routes. There's absolutely, I mean, it's cold as hell, windy as hell. I mean, they got some natural resources, but just enough for the island and maybe some profit margin, not enough to really go down, occupy, and do anything with. It's one of those ones.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, New Zealand, quite frankly, is kind of sort of one of those ones also, because they have too much seismic activity to really take over.
Does that mean earthquakes, volcanoes, or both?
Earthquakes. You didn't hear about Christchurch, their capital, several years ago? Big old earthquake took down. They moved, I believe. I haven't checked on it, but last I heard, they were moving the whole capital because it was on a fault line, and damn near 40% of the city was destroyed in the last big earthquake. I'll have to go back and look at that. I might do a story on that.
Earthquake resistant construction's got to be prioritized more.
Dude,
Any new construction.
the old Strokow bought it, the patent for it, but there is an earthquake resistant industrial construction, steel construction system out there.
Yeah.
I actually worked for the company for about 10 years that invented it. And actually every hospital made in America, built in America, uses that Connextex system for earthquake resistant and fire resistant, because we used to build the most earthquake resistant, fire resistant buildings on the planet.
Is it like it's built on a suspension system?
No, it's a connection system to the frame, to the, they have tube steel columns. The bigger the building, the more thick the columns. They could be up to 2 foot tube steel columns with like 1.5 inch steel and tube steel, and then they put rebar and fill it with concrete.
Yep.
And they have a connection system, not a slap flange or butterfly flange, which is a typical connection system that you'd bolt up to an I-beam or a column. There's another type, a whole different type of system that's on where that flange system is on each level, on each beam, that the header beams connect to, and that connection system brings the earthquake resistant part of it along with the tube steel part of the frame or the column system of it. The skeletal system and the jointing system is the earthquake resistant part of it.
Gotcha.
In other words, basically every column connection on every floor on every column is more like an elbow rather than a connecting non-movable piece. So
Cool.
there's room. There's a lot of room for it to move before it'll fall, to where other buildings won't move a tenth as much before their connection points fracture or break or go over top.
That's devastating then.
Yeah, and their wall system, they used a double 3/4 inch fiber board, and it turns out, and I don't see why they don't build in fire areas like this. And that's why, again, it was the most fire resistant system, and all hospitals built in America use the system because it's earthquake resistant and fire resistant. The most one, the fire and earthquake resistant systems out there. And I actually turned it into a housing system. Same two steel columns, but no the earthquake resistant part of it, but the fire resistant part of it. I incorporated in my housing system, but it's basically a steel frame 30 by 30. Because on steel, as you go up a floor, you can weld on and extend out up to about 8 to 10 foot on each floor to make it like a 50 by 50 instead of 30 by 30, and only have your columns 30 foot apart. Hey guys, don't fight.
Gotcha.
And you can do that with wood, but then you would need columns. And with steel, you just have to weld and put some connection points.
I was just reading Emerald Coast Stacker's comment there about the Civil War items, for collectors, and there seems to be less collectors out there.
That is an interesting semi-numismatic type of collecting, is the Civil War stuff. It all depends, I guess, on what part of the world or America you're in. I know out west here, it's not that big because it never really happened out here. It happened more in the 13 colony area, where all the battles and all the relics would come from. And they've probably already been picked over because, quite frankly, the bigger battles would have been picked over very fast. You have to get rid of it.
If there's less people that are into the collecting of that sort of thing, then it's sort of a thinner market, so it's going to be tougher to, I guess, make money on it. But I think if you're collecting that sort of thing, I have a feeling you don't really want to sell it anyway.
Well, now would be a time to buy, because that's how you collect. You
Exactly.
buy when people are not interested in it, because it's just like bell bottoms, disco, and the freaking disco ball. It's cyclical. It'll always come back at least 1-2 more times. And if you're the one that has, when it comes back, you're profiting. All you need to do for that is hold.
Yeah. Hey,
No
Eric.
matter what asset class, actually. What's up, Eric? I appreciate that, Eric. I try and give some decent information to make it worth people's time if they spend 8 minutes of their day watching. One thing I don't like is my time being wasted, so I don't want to waste anyone else's time. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, time gets more valuable every year. Pretty sure.
Man, time is the most valuable thing that we have. And that's why you have choices and decisions. Choose wisely. Because if you choose unwisely, you're going to be wasting a lot of time.
True that.
Not Trudeau. Sorry.
I'm Trudeau.
Boy, he got torpedoed with the fucking conversation.
Sorry.
One conversation ruined his whole government. I was going to do a report on the Sikhs that are in your parliament.
Yep.
They gave him a vote of no confidence, and they're going to do something. I was going to do a report on it, but decided not to. But they stood up, and without them, the ND party or whatever party he's in control of no longer has the votes for power.
Yeah, that's Jagmeet Singh, but he's been licking Trudeau's boots for years and years now. And so the thing with him is they're saying he's just sticking around to get his pension. He's getting close to being able to retire and get a nice whopper of a pension.
Got to get the pension, baby. Don't want to leave early.
Yeah, it's even more like I don't follow politics that much, but it's just as bad, if not worse, here than in the States. With Trump, at least, he is not a lifelong politician, right? He grew up being an entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur, right?
Moneymaker.
Go. Build up as much as you can, as fast as you can. If you go bankrupt, do it again. Get back up and, get back on the horse. But like Trudeau, he's never succeeded in anything. And that's one of the things with politicians that I really dislike is I don't think that they should really be involved in running the country unless they have experience running a company or, something that's relevant to their role, not just because their last name, is recognizable. But
Yeah, that sucks. That's why people get their positions now is last name recognition, which is interesting because I think our governor is the nephew of Nancy Pelosi. So if she goes down, I wonder what's going to happen with his career.
it's tough to know. Like anytime I look at politics, it reminds me of The Young and the Restless or General Hospital, like any of these soap operas. It's like, wow, like it's like I'm watching a freaking soap opera.
I used to like the Luke and Laura story.
Oh yeah.
I think it was General Hospital in the mid 80s, early 80s, maybe early 80s, late 70s.
What's the
Actually.
other one? Days of Our Lives. Like it really does seem like it's a lot of it's being scripted.
Yeah, the whole thing's scripted, bro. The only thing that's really not scripted is us in America, because we're kind of the wrench in the clog in the wheel. We're the country that wasn't supposed to be, but happened.
America?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If it weren't for America, like we'd all be screwed. And that's a big part of the reason even though I'm not American, I love supporting Americans, because it's easy for me to recognize if it weren't for America, we'd all be so screwed.
Oh, like, big time.
10 times worse. So, either get on board or freaking drift away.
Right? Yeah. Kind of sucks. Kind of doesn't.
But I think I'm a lot more optimistic about the future now, and I think Americans should be too. Now that let's just say that the Democrats are on the out, and I think the swamp is that drain's gonna open back up again. I'm not saying anyone's perfect, but I think we're definitely in for better times. I sure hope so anyway.
Laird Bernie told me that Guantanamo got renovated.
Yeah, a bit of an addition on it.
Yep.
A little bit of an expansion.
Take a different type of client.
It's interesting. I was watching a live stream recently that's hosted by a couple. I don't think any of you guys know them, but they're both fabulously rich. Like they're easily each worth $200-300 million.
Damn.
And they were talking about lotteries and different ways of making money and coming into money. And the guy said, back, I guess he's about 45 now. But he says, back when I was in my 20s, I always played the same lottery numbers. I played them consistently for, a couple of years. And it was the one time I forgot to play that number, the $1 million jackpot came in. And I missed it. And in the live chat, it's all firing up. Oh, man, you could have been set for life and this and that and everything else. And he said, you know what? It's not a life-changing amount.
No, it's not.
He said,
actually, nowadays.
Yep.
Go ahead.
He said the world, the whole global financial system is set up to cater to billionaires. If you're not a billionaire, you're really not set up to operate nicely in this world. Which I think, that's something else. I think most of us, $1 million would be life-changing. But at the same time, with the prices going up, if you think about it, say you've got kids right now, say that are 18, and they've got to live on $1 million.
It can be done.
It can be done, but you're not going to be, You're not going
No,
to be doing.
you're not going to be
right
going
now,
on vacation to Tahiti every other month. That's for damn
right
sure.
right now. The average price, home price in Toronto, is $1.1 million. So $1 million, you can't even buy an average house, right?
Canada's a big place.
Yeah, you can do it a
America.
lot cheaper if you move up north or
Yeah, or
you know,
different
out of the
cities.
bigger cities.
Just like America, I did a report showing the value, the spending value of a dollar per state, and how it's a dollar's worth 88 spending cents here in California because of extra taxes and regulations and costs. And in Alabama, it's worth $1.12 because they don't have as much tax or regulations. So, if a person can move from that one area to another, the purchasing power, your purchasing power of what you're getting from what you earned in California, like say a retirement, you just gained 25%, 24% purchasing power. So just be willing to move is all I'm saying, and take advantage, because also in that area, I'm feeding them to Ninja. All these houses, I'm seeing price drops on in the whole state of Alabama, not in just one region. I'm looking at the whole state. I'm actually looking for the best house. I don't really care where it's at. And so I'm looking at the whole state, and prices are dropping through that whole state. I've seen 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1,300 square foot on a quarter acre go for $47,000. Brick with fireplace, hardwood floors, well kept. $45,000, $47,000.
Yep.
So if you have $1 million, if you don't have, I don't want to live there, it's disgusting, that type of attitude, you could easily move. Like for me, and I only use Alabama because I've only researched Alabama. I'm sure there are plenty of other states out there. There's similar, but I only go to Alabama because that's what I've researched. That's what I know. So I use Alabama as an example. In Alabama, I could pick up and pay off with cash 7 houses for $900,000, and all of them be in good enough condition to rent out immediately.
Yep.
That right there won't, like I said, it won't buy you a new Mercedes every week, but excuse me.
So you're talking about real estate, and I saw a couple comments in here. Who was it? Is teaching Eric's teaching his kids about, I guess, making money in real estate, or at least working with real estate. I think that's a great thing to know about for sure. So I dropped the Economic Ninjas link because I know he's right into that too.
Oh yeah, no, there's great ways to do what people have to understand, and this is, and I believe I actually did a video on this. Your if you're a multimillionaire right now, this is how it works. And it sucks, but it works this way. Your grandkids are going to spend all the money and be broke. Your kids will spend most of it. Their kids will spend all of it and do bankruptcy.
Yeah. One thing that I think we could really strengthen on, and I think it should be put into the education system, is about how to start, and even more to the point, how to keep going a family business. Family businesses typically do not survive past 2 or 3 generations.
And that's where and this actually, since Indy's here, she might still be here. Next administration coming in is looking at a new, because we pay a certain amount of money to school systems per child. They've got it broken down. I think it's like $16,000 thereabouts per child. And I think a plan that ran by the next administration was to give parents control of that tax spending money on where to spend it on their child. In other words, they can choose other options of schooling system other than the public school system, because they'll have the tax money that goes to that child for that year to use. In other words, you could send it to a private school, basically. Or you could homeschool, and a person with 2 children could have an income of $32,000 by homeschooling their children. And, and actually it could bring back a prosperous America, because then the mother could stay home or father could stay home and homeschool 2 kids, make 32,000, and the other parent go out and work. So you always have a parent at the house teaching and being around their children. So it would raise better children. And that would be a way to get America back on track to the 50s Ozzie and Harriet style America. What's up, Silver Voice Blue? That would be a way to get us back on that path. Not that that would be what we would get, but we would have a better educated child and a better foundation of families in America, keeping us prosperous and desirable for other countries to want to immigrate here, because we would be quote unquote better than them.
Yep.
And that would be a way to get us there.
I think one of the most important things there's going to be many important things to get family business to be able to move beyond in a generational way. And SBB makes a good comment. His grandfather's dry cleaning business lasted just over 100 years. Is just that, like, you've got to be aware of the fact that industry and everything's moving so fast. So you've got to teach your people how to evolve quickly and rapidly, and know that whatever products and services you're selling today probably won't be the same 2-3 generations from now, right? And so to be able to survive the ups and downs, it's like launching a canoe in the ocean.
Goes back to that horrible word of diversification. When you do start a company and you are successful during the quote unquote golden years, when you're making all this money, instead of getting Mercedes every week and buying that vacation home every other year, invest that money into another sector for you to diversify into. So that way, because everything goes in cycles. Again, 100 years, he says. So the cycle of that business is approximately, it seems like 100 years. So you have 100 years from start to finish but see, they don't teach this stuff because that's generational economics, and they don't even teach economics. So you can blow people away with. And I'm glad we have communities like this that we can talk about this kind of crap to enlighten others on a generational way and to a way to preserve it. And this actually, the weave, Donald Trump weave, leads back to jewelry making, osmium and gold and silver. If you actually create a piece of jewelry with your gold and your osmium and your silver, and you keep it in your family over generations, it becomes more valuable just because of the age of it. And it didn't cost you that much. So you could actually add to your family's generational wealth by exerting yourself a little bit more now and not taking as much in a percentage off the top, whatever, from profits, and put it into stuff that can preserve wealth later, which is, your generational wealth. And every time I think generational wealth, I think of the royal family, the king's family now. For most of my lifetime, it was the Queen's family. That's why I say that. When you look at all their jewels, they're always in papers and magazines, because they were like two of the crowns, both of them made about 150 and 170 years ago. Between the two of those crowns alone, and all they've done is passed down through generation. They did not cost as much as they are worth now. They're worth $5 billion. Actual dollar to dollar cost with inflation, it only cost $130 million for the both of them to be made. But because they're generational and they've been around that long, their both combined worth is $5 billion. So that adds to the wealth of that family. You see the point? They created something and then kept it in the family, and it over time gained greater wealth. And they didn't leverage it to the point where they had to lose it, because they were smart enough in economics and running things that they only leveraged it to gain more stuff and still keep it. And then they became multi-billionaire family. Now everyone born in that family is instant billionaire because of their thoughts of generational wealth. And they teach their kids from get-go, hey, you're going to be doing stuff for your grandkids, so get ready and do this. The way they're raising those grandkids, the young ones they have over there in that royal family, oh my God. I fear for the future. I see King Richard the Lionheart II come into power in about 15 years or 20 years. But that's another story. I need to buy some land in Nova Scotia myself if I get rich, when I get rich. Just because it's called New Scotland, that's why. Believe it or not, even though my mom's Scottish and actually lived in Scotland, 90% of our family fled Scotland in the 1700s. Well, was it 17 or was it 1600s? 1700s? It was 1750s, whatever century that was. 1750s, I think. Yeah, the Great Scottish leaving. When most people left Scotland, that's where most of my family left and went to Canada, your area, Nova Scotia, New Scotland. Actually, I believe there's a spot in Nova Scotia, the only spot left in the world where they teach Gaelic and actually speak Gaelic. You fall asleep on me? Well, I'm taking a hit. I just got resin in my mouth. Yuck. What is the last name? I know it's not Force-CK. Yeah, you're probably Scottish. One of the Scottish clans. Right on. Oh, I must have been taking a hit when he said that. I'm pretty good at taking hits. Well, anyhow, I want to thank everyone for being here, and I'm glad everyone's talking in chat, and I hope that everyone gains a little bit of knowledge tonight on whatever subject you're talking about, or the subjects that we happen to touch on. Yeah, I've traced my Scottish heritage, the Sutherlands. Actually, I didn't. My brother did. I traced them back to, what was it, from 10th century, 9th century, 10th century? It was about 1000 AD. He was able to trace this back to a town in Norway where the Sutherlands actually started from. And that's why they got the name Sutherland, because actually where they migrated to Scotland, the most northern part of Scotland with the Stuarts, they were called Sutherlanders from where they came from in Norway. And that's why they kept the title Sutherland and started the Sutherland clan. But originally, it's a Norwegian clan. And oddly enough, in that area of Norway, just to the east, was a Viking group along with the Norwegian group from which my family originated from back at that time period on my mom's side, broke off and went to Russia and started the Russian Empire eventually. They were actually family members. Scots people from the lowland who moved to North Ireland. Yeah, that's why the Scots and Irish are cousins. Actually, Robert the Bruce's brother, during that good movie of Sir William Wallace with Braveheart, during that time period in history, Sir Robert the Bruce, the King of Scotland's brother, was King of Ireland. And most people don't know that part of that history. Wasn't king for long, a couple of years, but he was King of Ireland. English-backed Irish kicked him out. Some sort of war they had.
Sorry about that. I'm back now.
It's quite all right. Everyone's got to take off these other things, brother.
And I realized I didn't mute while I was gone.
That's right. The squirrels were talking to us. I blamed it on Gigi, but everyone else said it was squirrels.
They are squirrely indeed.
I think the best thing people can do is group together, buy a large section of land that you can multiple people own. And the reason why I say this is because on paperwork, if multiple people have ownership of a land, it is harder to get a warrant to enter into that land for any one specific person, because there is no deed or title that guarantees one specific section of that land to one particular name. So it's harder for any kind of government entity to enter into that land. That much I do. I didn't hear you. What was that, brother?
Welchco just wanted to confirm that I washed my hands, that we're operating in a sanitary premise.
Well, it looks like the squirrel's messing with gold. I don't know if it's sanitary as silver.
No, I think silver's actually better.
I do believe so. Actually, I believe copper is better than gold when it comes to the sanitary part.
Yeah, copper's got some great quality.
I bought 29.95 copper coins that actually stated on them. This is the reason why I bought them. I'm surprised I was able to buy them actually, as it was in the middle of COVID. It said, I think I showed them on one of my videos. We had a picture of the COVID virus itself, and the other side had a guy on a gas mask, and it said, "We kill COVID."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I have to have that coin."
That's where we're at, C4.
I just did a refill of.
But like I never smoke an entire joint all in one shot. Like that's a pretty good size. That'll last me probably till tomorrow. What's going on here? Put my camera back on too tight.
Smoking lamps on, baby. Smoking lamps on. I'm always smoking.
But yeah, compare that to the size of a lighter. It's a pretty good size joint.
Oh, we're pulling out the show and tell, are we?
He asked, man.
Did
you smoke one for me?
Hold on a second here.
I'd actually pass it over, but it's tough to do that through the internet connections.
This right here is about that full. I go through one of these in this format of smoking about every 5 days.
Nice.
So yeah, I smoke a lot more than one a day. It's for everyone's health.
I think I just might have come up with a way that you can really boost your viewership on your live streams if you want.
Yeah, get premium.
No, make the title "Smoke and Chat."
Neil's about to flex. No, I'm not going to show any more of my buds. I did one live stream. I think
Like this.
I broke out one of my buds and played with it like a lightsaber.
There, like make the title what I just put in the chat there. I bet your average viewership will be 5 to 10 more people.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a very high tolerance to the weed. I have to smoke a lot, and it's for everyone else's benefit, and mine, of course, too. But if I was on a desert island, I could go without smoking, but no one else would want to be around me. It would have to be a deserted desert island. Uh-oh. Watch out. You're fixing to get hit, man.
Well, I'm in trouble.
You're fixing to get hit.
I got the email. I got to sit in the corner for...
Dagnabbit, put your nose on the little white dot, brother. 5 minutes.
I got it.
Shame on you.
Here, I'm going to read the email to you right now. It says, JM, if you're going to show a nice little joint in the camera there, you should actually fire it up and smoke the whole thing in front of everyone. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Called you out, bro. Called you out. All right. I'll help you out with this. I like these kind of lighters, personally.
Yep. Yeah, smoke and chat.
Oh yeah. Somehow not.
Oh yeah, man, this is a smoke and chat,
Which one's Cheech and which one's Chong?
right? I love those Cheech and Chong movies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Puff Puff Pass Claus. Love it. For sure.
Woo, yeah. I used to have. Oh man, this thing was badass. It's you know what a steamroller is? For smoking pot,
Yeah.
a steamroller.
Oh no, I thought you meant for like paving a road.
No. It's a long, elongated, thick piece of glass that you have to hold your hand to self-carburate on one end, and it's usually about a foot and a half long, and the bowl is at the other end, and you can see the smoke fill up on the inside, and you release your hand, and it all of a sudden like blows up in your face. It's called a steamroller.
Okay.
I had one of those. It was about a foot and a half long, about 5 inches round. And whoever the glass blower was amazing. He did a multicolored 8-inch long dragon, starting with the head of the dragon pointed at where you'd have your mouth on the steamroller about 3 inches away from you, pointed right at you. And then the whole body of the dragon inside this glass tube, and his tail came up, and the tail was the bowl. So you'd light this thing up, or typically you'd have a friend light it so you wouldn't drop it. And you'd see the smoke filling up the dragon. And then when you released your hand, all the smoke would go through the dragon. It would blow it straight out at your face. It was badass, man.
Yeah.
But the prototype you seen with got dropped and did a few cool bounces. And one of the bounces was on that glass, and it freaking broke it.
Hey, Copper.
That was a kick.
Melted copper in the house. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. That was a kick butt steamroller, man. Got it at the Hyatt Divisadero area of San Francisco back in the day. It was cool to be there.
Nice.
Now it's not cool to be in the city. Yeah, that's it. You break them, Eric. I mean, they're like, you got to have a special room to go to and have nothing but cloth in that room. So that way, if something falls, it'll clean it. It won't break it.
Yeah, I got to be careful because I don't want to get too high, you know.
I used to do. Have you guys ever tried a marijuana martini?
No, never even heard of it.
Oh my God, you guys, this is a party trick. Okay, you take a martini glass or actually probably like a German beer mug glass. It has to be glass. Stick that sumbitch in the freezer, get it wet and then stick it in the freezer, right? Let it totally freeze. Get a joint like what you got right now. Get a straw and shotgun. Pull the glasses out. Make sure there's no airflow. And whoever's going to enjoy the drink with you, have in the area where they're not moving to cause any airflow. And then you light the joint up, stick the unlit end into the straw, drop the straw into the bottom of one of the frozen glasses and shotgun in a hit to it. And you will see smoke rising like liquid to the top. And then you do that to all the glasses, and everyone all at once slowly goes down and inhales themselves a drink of marijuana smoke. It's a party trick.
Never
it's
heard
cool.
of it.
Oh man,
I've just heard of it though.
You ought to try it, man. It's fun shit. You'll be like, wow, it's just like liquid, but it'll like roll slower than a liquid will in the glass, but it still rolls like a liquid if the glass is frozen. And you got to blow the smoke at the bottom of the glass to get the smoke, because what smoke is it's got more percentage of oxygen in it, and if it hits cold, it turns into a fog and it gets heavy and it'll sit. And if it's surrounded by cold, you can build it up to a point where it'll overflow. You just stop blowing in the shotgun hit to it with the straw. That's why you need to hit the bottom of the glass, not the top, and fill it up nice and make it a dark smoke. not dark, but thick smoke, and then you just inhale it, and it's like air because it's cooled down. It's not going to burn your throat. It's not going to do anything, and you won't even know that you're taking a hit. And it's fun. It's a little party trick.
Oh, okay.
still-
I've seen people do that with like the Coke or Pepsi bottles. I think a similar thing. They pierce holes in them and they put ice cubes in them.
Oh, I've never seen that.
It's not the exact same thing, but I think it's a similar idea.
Oh, right on. Yeah, no, I haven't seen that one. But yeah, it's just a one of those party tricks, or not party tricks, party whatever. If people are all smoking pot. We won't go there.
I didn't know that Nickel smoked cigars or pipe. I didn't think he smoked anything. I tried cigars for a bit, but I didn't really like them all that much.
Yeah, I don't
Especially
care
for the price. Although I did find one brand of cigar that I do like. I could show you that. See if
I
Nickel's
don't know of any name brands of cigars. Never smoked any. Well, I did for a little bit back in '94. I
okay.
was in Charlotte, North Carolina. We were
Yeah.
building a 12-story building. It was one full city block right on downtown. It was on Tryon between 2nd and 3rd Street. And caddy corner from us was this place called Atlantic Beer and Ice. It was a restaurant, and the top floor was like a billiards hall, smoking club, gentleman's club like area. And because I was like me, I always got invited up there after work, and people would be handing me cigars, and we'd be playing billiards, just talking bullshit, smoking cigars. And that's the only time I smoke cigars.
That's what these things look like, backwoods. And they smell terrific. And like when you smoke them, it's really flavored, kind of like the old ports, Colts.
What blunts are? You ever heard of a blunt?
A blunt?
Yeah.
I've
Here
heard
in
of
California, what they do is they'll take backwoods, open them up, take all the tobacco out from the inside, fill it with marijuana, and
These
then
things here?
yeah, backwoods, yeah,
Okay.
and then they fill them. They take all the insides out and then reclose them up like a paper but bigger, and put weed in it and smoke weed. It's called a blunt.
Nice.
At least down here it is. Yeah, pretty much melted. Not too many people care anymore. I'm not antisocial. I just I'll go to parties every now and then. I just don't want people. I don't want people at my house. When I come to my house, I want it's a refuge from that.
Yeah, I don't go out nearly as much as I used to either. I used to go out all the time.
And it's too dangerous now in large groups. I don't know if I'd want to be anywhere with large groups.
I can handle it for periods of time, but I don't go out of my way to find large crowds.
It's not even that. It's the possibility, and I don't know if anyone's kept up with this or if I'm the only one that's noticed it. But like in Germany, like 2 days ago, and in India, I think yesterday, there's been a lot of cars driving through groups of people in the street who are celebrating, shall we say. And their intention of the guy in Germany got arrested for terrorism. He injured like 86 people or something like that, killed 11, drove straight through the crowd, all celebrating Christmas.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and it's happening in several areas of the world. So, it's not that, it's just not the crowd. I mean, I've always been concerned about that ever since the Vegas shooter dude. No one talks about it anymore. He probably obviously got away with it. Whatever.
Yeah, I agree with you, Welch. Go sober is the way to be.
I gave up drinking in 1996.
It's a good default, right?
Eh, it's there's lots of ways to look at it, man. It all depends. It's a perspective thing. People say it's an easy way out because you just, it's a give up. Oh, I'm not going to do anything because, I mean, what can you do when you're drunk? Nothing. So it's a give up.
It depends. It affects different people in different ways. Depends on the person, situation.
Yeah, a perspective.
In excess, anything can be bad, right?
Oh yeah, easy. Yeah, yeah, most definitely. Yeah, anything in excess. It even says that's a sin. You can drink just in excess is sinful. You can gamble in excess is sinful. Anything in excess is sinful.
Pizza
Self-indulgence.
sounds pretty good.
Pizza sounds good.
That's right, Emerald. And like a lot of people are actually getting stuff from, um, getting prescriptions to deal with it too. That's one thing I've never done is prescriptions, other than if you have surgery or something like that. But
I don't think I've taken a prescription drug this millennium, and probably the last decade of last millennium. I'd have to really think because I did get some injuries. I broke some ribs back. I think that was in the 90s.
yeah.
So I probably got some painkillers for that, but I don't recall because I think I don't think I did because it happened in North Carolina, and then I went to Florida to recover, and I was smoking a hell of a lot of weed. And you don't get prescriptions for those. So yeah, I don't think I even took any prescription drugs back then. Aspirin. I don't even like taking aspirin.
Me neither. And actually, I found it for me anyway. It wasn't as effective, and it's very, very rare that I've ever even. But I do every once in a while have to take an Advil. I know it's ibuprofen. Definitely helps out. My buddy was showing me some pressure points. Like
Oh yeah.
shiatsu acupressure.
Yep.
For I got to be careful the words I choose. Helping or being a good thing. Quite effective, actually.
Yeah, I'm very, very, very well aware of pressure points.
Yeah, I would think that you are.
Yeah, you have a pressure point for your heart and lungs inside your mouth, and you control you both. You can expand your lungs and control your heartbeat, and give your heart a massage if you do it properly.
Yeah. But whatever you do, don't eat mushrooms.
And I'm not telling any more than that because I don't give financial advice, I don't give medical advice, and I don't tell you anything that'll help you because it'll give me a strike.
You should have that banner running, man. How come you don't have the banner running at the bottom as a disclaimer?
How do I do it?
It's on the right there. It'll say banner.
Yeah, no, I'm into banners. How do I create a banner?
Create a new one. Yeah. No advice. Whatever. And then if you want it to just be stationary, don't click on scroll. But if you want it to scroll, then click on scroll.
Like that?
Nice. That works.
I'm an iron worker.
Mm-hmm. So you can still go back and edit that one, and make a plethora.
There's not a curse word there. That's a type of cow that hasn't been made yet. I'm waiting for genetics to catch up with it. It's called a bullshit cow. It's full of fire. Totally full of hot air. The greenies are fighting me on it. Gonna tax the hell out of me.
Yeah, I think mushrooms are good too. I like mushrooms.
We don't talk about mushrooms.
No. And even if we ever did in the past, it should be taken as bullshit.
Exactly. But right now I'm taking it as kryptonite. Because I got a stern warning from YouTube about that stuff. It was even in red.
Mm. Yeah, they let you know, right?
I was like, where do I protest this bullshit? But I didn't feel good enough, so I went in and I called up anyhow. I'll follow up with that one and see if someone else wants to take that and run with it.
Silverboy Blues wanted to know how do you do live and let people call in?
I guess you give out your phone number. And I'm not going to do that. You can come up on panel. It's pinned at the top.
You'd want a separate line, right, with a separate number. But yeah, if you want to do that, you can hit the StreamYard link at the top of the chat.
Yeah, just get your.
You don't have to put your camera on.
Yeah, you could do one of those, or one of those, or one of those.
Exactly.
Hey, I don't want to hear that.
Tariffs on whiskey are going to be 50% to Europe.
Oh no, we're going to be rich.
Does he means whiskey coming in from Europe or whiskey
No, going
to Europe? We'll see. A lot of it's, I think, positioning.
Well, don't be surprised because they've had large percentage number tariffs on us since World War II. And the time to rebuild their economies is over. It's been since 1945. They've been taxing, tariffing us. I mean, it's so blatant. It's all because it's all happened before our lifetime. None of us even see it. But ask yourself if you ever went to Germany 5 or 10 years ago. They might have a couple now, but back then they didn't have no Fords, no Chevys, no Pontiacs. But damn, if we don't have a lot of Beamers, BMWs, Porsches, and Audis here in America, but they don't have any there of our cars. Same with Japan. Same with Australia. We're Patriot campers all over America, man. It wasn't until last year before Ford got the first opportunity to even introduce a car into their marketplace. People don't realize how long-term economies work, man. It's the time for them to quit fleecing us. Not fleecing us. It's not fleecing. It's time for the world to quit building their personal nations' economies off of our taxing and tariffing us without us hitting them back. That's all. There's nothing not fair about it. It's actually very fair.
Working for digital units on a screen.
I mean,
cotton, polymer.
We'll probably get Greenland out of this, out of taxes and tariffs. America will benefit nicely off taxes and tariffs.
And it does too. America subsidizes a ton of other countries in many.
There he is. Oh, we subsidize the hell out of them, man.
It's weird. Canada subsidizes a lot of countries too. And I can see, being nice and helpful and generous, especially to other good nations. But hey, dude, if you can't balance your own budget, what the hell are you doing sending money?
You
Like,
know,
not just token amounts. Like
uh,
or here's our small country. No, you're gonna actually try to frickin' win a war with your donations.
it's
Like,
it's the writings. Writing was on the wall, man. You had 90 years to be able to stand up economically on your own. After that, if you can't do it, well, your greedy politicians screwed your chance, and Germany's feeling that.
Yeah.
And it's a damn shame, but they wrote their own chapter of the book that they're fucking living through choices and decisions their government made, and they chose poorly.
Yeah,
Or shall I say,
the
their
money's
leaders
better spent.
chose poorly. Yeah, just be thank God we're in America. A lot of Germans are going to be wishing they're in America the next year.
It's the place to be. If you want to be free and you want to be an entrepreneur.
Indeed, America is actually the best place to be.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Canada used to be pretty good. It's a lot tougher now, though.
back to economic prosperity.
There we go.
America has to build 200 ships for their maritime fleet, and there's this act being passed through Congress and Senate called the America Fleet Act or something like that. I stated earlier. I don't recall exactly what it's called right now, but what it does is it rebuilds ports and infrastructure for ports, and is going to be building 200 ships over the next 10 years, something like that, here in America. Big ships, for which we only built 4 last year, or maybe it was last 10 years. I'm not sure. China's built 1,700 and we built 4. So that's going to be changing, and all the infrastructure and business that goes along with that, and economics that goes along with that throughout different port cities throughout America. There's going to be a lot of wealth spread around because of that new law being passed, because there's going to be a lot of money to be made in different port cities when they get kicked back in doing shipbuilding. So if you're interested in making money, look into it. See if you're in the right area and get into a business make a business, start a business, because you have a skill set that could be used in that industry. Because I know for a fact it's going to be kicking off. You got about a year to learn the skill.
Yeah, time's fleeting.
Yeah.
There's so many opportunities, right? And only so much time.
There you go with that word again, time. You must manage it very well. The better you manage your time now, the more prosperous you're going to be later. Learning a skill, not for everybody, but for some people, learning a valued and valuable skill right now is your best move, due to just age, financing, lifestyle, area you live in being very important. The area I grew up in, America, to this day, even back in the 70s, was depressed, and to this day is still depressed. There's just the only thing they have is the Navy base. If it ever closes, that area of Florida is pretty much going bankrupt. But it's never going to close because it's the cradle of Navy aviation, so they're always going to feed money to it. So it's always going to be prosperous on industries that support military flight and naval support industries. Other than that, there's no business down there or no prosperity, so it's a pretty depressed area. Try and be something. You usually have to leave to do that if you're down from that area. But you have to be willing to move to prosper in some some arenas, and some, not everyone's in the right area at the right time.
Yeah, Hootie and the Blowfish had a song about time. So did Pink Floyd.
Oh yeah,
I just actually published a song about time. I should actually share it.
Only if it won't give me a strike.
I guarantee it won't get you a strike.
Okay. And hopefully it won't be Simon and Garfunkel's If I Could Have Time in a Bottle.
No.
That's a good song. If I could save time in a bottle, should I say? I think that's what it is. One of the two. Yeah, go ahead. Pull it up, man. Do it.
Just a second here.
That's a nice revenue.
Sorry for the delay.
That's quite all right. That's why I have a mouth. I just keep running it.
I think it's really good though, and I don't think that you saw this one. I recorded it in 4K too, which is super high definition. But I know you're streaming on 720.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to play it on that too. And I noticed, like, I actually shared this on Indie's stream Friday night, and it was buffering really bad because she's streaming in high definition. And I tried sharing it on my computer in high definition, and when I went back, it was buffering and stuff. But it should be good here.
We shall find out.
Let me know what you guys think of this. Okay, here we go.
Hands keep spinning round and round, can't catch the minutes on the ground. Time's a thief that wears a crown, always here but never found. Chasing hours like we're chasing gold, never young yet never old. In the rush we lose control, breaking walls is getting old. Top the moments fly, day turns night without a why. Take a breath, let worries lie. In the calm, our best is night. Work and hustle, running wild. Dreams and deadlines reconcile. In the chaos, there's a child yearns to play and be beguiled. Pause the race and shift the gears. Steal back seconds from the years. In the quiet, disappear. Just find the peace so crystal clear. Tick-tock, the moments fly. Day turns night without a why. Take a breath, let worries lie. In the calm, our best is night. Pause the race and shift the gears. Steal back seconds from the years. In the quiet, disappear. Find the peace so crystal clear.
I remember that one.
Oh, you did see it?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm really happy with how that turned out. Not as good as Pink Floyd, but to be honest, I was trying to go for something that would get a similar message, right? In a completely different way. Thanks.
Sorry, I got the munchies.
Yeah, and rightfully so. You earned that.
doing milk and club crackers.
Nice. I ate some potato chips last night before I went to bed. It was a mistake. It was a new, the one line, I think it's President's Choice, had a whole new line of international flavors. And this one, I think it was Korean barbecue. And it was hot. And I forgot that it was hot. It all turned out okay, but yeah, I ended up having to drink an extra glass of water. Something about the end of the bag of chips, that's when your highest probability of getting a little tiny piece of it catching in your throat.
Little
It's not
trick.
good when it's spicy.
Milk and bread.
True. Or plain yogurt can help cool hot food. A lot of Indian restaurants will serve plain yogurt with the hot dishes. They definitely have it for in the case that you request it.
I don't eat Indian food. Too spicy.
You can get it mild. You can even tell them extra mild.
Yeah, I don't even bother.
And, well, there's so many varieties too, right? Like you could go to 5 different Indian restaurants and not a one would be good, right?
Yep.
Around here, I'd say pretty much every other Indian restaurant is pretty good, and we've got tons of people from India here.
I found one good one here. It was a small mom and pops, and then the kids took over, and the cooking changed, and it was no good no more.
Yeah, you got to watch that too. If the cook gets pissed off and leaves, they got a new cook, or if if they got a pissed off cook and he stays, it'd be worse. Depending on how you do the math.
Well, I ordered calamari as an appetizer every time, and that determined how the food is in most places that I go to.
Yeah.
You can cook calamari, they can pretty much cook the other crap.
That's a good bellwether. I love calamari too.
Oh, I do too. Oh yeah, and if you have to chew on it for a half hour, don't order anything else.
No, it should be about the same, not texture, but difficulty in chewing as chicken breast.
As abalone.
And you know what? The best calamari I ever had was in San Diego. When I was there, the hotel that we stayed at had a small pub in the basement there, and a restaurant, and so that was one of the hotel restaurants, and they had the calamari there, and I bet you I had that every other day or night when I was there.
I think there's a couple good food appetizers I used to enjoy with an alcohol. One was a whiskey sour and calamari,
Okay.
and then the other would be king crab legs, oysters on the half shell, and Killian's Red. Depending on what night it was going to be.
Is that red wine?
Killian's Red beer. It's an Australian beer.
Okay, red beer. I had never successfully ate oysters. I think I tried twice, and didn't work out either time.
Pig Lead Peaks had a special. Most everyone liked the oysters. I preferred the king crab legs, but I'd eat the oysters. Didn't care for them. Didn't get a taste. You just swallow the slimy bastards. How can you taste it? I never saw a point in oysters. If you have to on an island and you're dying, yeah, I see the point. Plants as well, but other than that, I don't see a point in it.
Yeah, it was more of an issue with swallowing something, larger than a horse pill. You know, you want to bite into it and should break it down a bit before you swallow it. You don't want to choke. So
Yeah.
that was my issue. But yeah, I'm good with pretty much any other seafood that's fairly commonly recognized.
My favorite seafood, just munch on, is fried mullet. Beer batter fried mullet.
Yeah,
It's a very common fish to find in the southeast.
probably scallops and lobster for me. Then crab, shrimp.
Ooh.
Rocky
Now,
likes
expensive stuff. A good smoked, brisket. Good
Yeah.
smoked brisket is awesome. If it's smoked well and they trim the fat before they smoked it and they seasoned it right.
Hey,
They didn't do
Nickel.
any of that shit. It tastes like crap.
Nickel, you said Rocky likes those. Likes what? What does he like?
Have no clue. Crab is best, is what he says.
Okay. Silverboy Blues. If the calamari, when you're served the calamari, if it's rubbery, it wasn't cooked right.
Most definitely.
There's two different ways you can cook it. And
Right and wrong.
Neither of them will come out rubbery.
There's a right way and a wrong way. If it's rubbery, you did it wrong.
Mhm. Yeah, bacon wrapped scallops rock. And like here, you guys know I'm Canadian. You know, pure maple syrup is the way to go. So you drench the bacon in some pure maple syrup.
Oh, hell yeah.
Then you got bacon wrapped maple scallops.
Man, you could wrap a turd with that and it would taste good.
Mm-hmm. Heck, I use a little bit of maple syrup as a sweetener in my coffee from time to time.
You gotta use honey.
Usually it's honey, but
If it's all natural maple syrup, I can see that. If it's not store bought,
yeah, that's
they usually put crap in there. It's not supposed to be in there.
the real deal, made by the Amish.
Oh, well, there you go. I never really cared for scallops, but I don't not care for them. I just don't go out of my way for them. But if I get them, I don't care either way for them.
There's a real richness in the flavor of them that reminds me of lobster and crab.
I like lobster, and I like Alaskan king crab leg.
Yeah, if the scallops are like rubber, they're overcooked. In my opinion, right? As the disclaimer says, everything we say.
Oh, I should change that. Oh, how do I change that? Hold on a second here.
Yeah, you can just make a new one, or I think there will be like a little pencil thing or a
Yeah, I see it. I
edit
see
it.
it.
Okay.
There we go.
Dang, is it getting cold here again? I'm freaking shivering. We got it's 10 degrees Fahrenheit here right now.
Okay. I already turned my heater on, man. It's not supposed to get down to like 49 tonight.
And my little workshop thing here is about 55 degrees Fahrenheit. So I got her heated up pretty good. Yeah, lobster is terribly expensive unless you live right there, and that's a very very tempting for me to go East Coast.
Lobster is
Just
good.
for the seafood. because it's
expensive.
cheap there, right? If you're right on the coast, it's cheap, especially if you know some good fishermen.
Well, see, this is a great thing. Talk about economics and food. Hello, you know what I'm saying? Uh, Invest in a food thing. It doesn't have to be a Wall Street based thing. You could actually buy baby cows, have a farmer raise them for 2 years, and split the cow with the farmer type operation.
If you've got a good location, you can set up a freaking, in my opinion, hot dog stand and make a killing. You need a good location though.
One good thing nowadays about the hot dog stand is they've almost perfected that rolling hot dog stand.
Yep.
Perhaps nachos and everything else that you would need on a quote unquote hot dog stand, because they've had those for a while. So
You can do sausages, regular hot dogs, all beef hot dogs, chicken dog, like
there's always money in food, right? Except for in bad times. Bad times, you got to worry about people stealing from you, especially if you're doing food. Because that is obviously one thing people always need.
One thing I've really noticed around here is a lot of the restaurants that serve breakfast have disappeared. It's getting tougher to,
You guys have Waffle House?
maybe in Toronto. I don't think there's one in any of the cities that are really close to me.
It's not as big a city thing. Typically, where I found Waffle Houses, although they are in cities and small towns.
Isn't that where all the scraps break out all the time?
They're at like your truck stop areas.
Gotcha. I don't think there's none near me, but I think that I did actually go to one in when I was in San Diego. I think there was a Waffle House nearby.
They're pretty good, man.
Chuck's Roadhouse. You guys must have that.
I have not heard of them.
No? It's a big
I don't
American
go out there.
franchise.
I'm a hermit out here.
Boston Pizza was really big here for a while, but I think most of them shut down.
Merry Christmas, Independent Mini.
Take care, Indy.
Be safe.
Merry Christmas, for sure. Thanks for reminding me, Indy. I almost forgot about that email. Almost forgot. Will do.
Sorry about that.
In fact, I think I'll just forward it to you, Neil.
What's that?
An email from Indy.
Didn't do it.
It's a nice email.
Hold on just a second. I'll be back.
Okay, I just sent it to you. And anyone that hasn't subscribed to Independent Men United, make sure that you do. Especially if you have any time Friday nights, if you're looking for something to do. So that's when she live streams every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Back. Sorry about that. There's lots of little things people can do for businesses. If you live along a beach and it gets hot in the summertime, think about it. same type cart as you'd have for a hot dog stand. Do snow cones.
There you go.
All you need is shaved ice and flavors, sugar flavored water, sugar flavored colored water. It's one of the cheaper businesses to get into. It's only good though for probably 2-3 months out of the year. Only in certain areas, so you have to worry about regulations, rules, business codes, all this other stuff.
Fries too, man. I've seen some of these little stands pop up, and all they sell is French fries. That's it.
Dude, if you have a good waffle fry, I'll stop and buy that son of a bitch.
The broke stacker in the house. Welcome in.
Bro. Everyone should have a couple cats. They're fun as hell. Coleslaw is good if done right. Coleslaw sucks if not done right. It's like cornbread. You can tell your good cooks from your bad cooks. Can they do cornbread? Can they do coleslaw?
Calamari.
Now you're talking chef. Not good.
So you got the 3 C's there.
But you are right.
Cornbread, coleslaw, calamari.
If you can do the 3 C's.
Emerald Coast doesn't really care for the coleslaw, apparently. That's funny.
It's not for everybody. Grits isn't for everybody. I like it. As long as you got butter. Hey, Pete, we were talking about the Perth Mint and Good Morning Stackers, 2:30 Pacific Standard Time from Australia.
Hey, Silver Boy Blues. The hot dog stands for sure are in pretty much any city that's got more than 50,000 people. They're all over the place in Toronto. Same as with the French fry stands. And then in the summer, you'll see even more of them, anywhere on the beaches, like Lake Huron, Lake Ontario, Lake Erie, all the beach areas around the Great Lakes. They'll pop up everywhere in the summer. And just like Neil was saying too, a lot of them, they're mobile.
Yeah, that's the great thing about these smaller.
Like those cube vans, they convert the cube vans and then they can just go wherever they want, when they want.
We actually have a lot of this style of this. I don't know what they sell. We've got that I can call right at the top of my head. There's 2 locations in town that have those little roll-in cart thingies. I don't know what they sell though. I think one of them, it looked kind of like cotton candy, but I'm not sure. He was a Mexican guy. It could have been something else. I'm not familiar with their cuisine or desserts.
No cabbage for Emerald at all. Okay, no cabbage.
That's too bad. That's the German comes out of me with the cabbage.
Yeah, SBB, I would just say the more densely populated the area, the more likely you'll see them. Because that's the key to that business is you have high
Dense.
traffic. So they'll cruise around if there's an event going on somewhere. They'll just cruise into a nearby parking lot, set up signs, 100 feet on either side with an arrow or whatever. And boom, they're set up. And then the next day they may go somewhere else.
No, I did not, Pete.
And actually, now I'm starting to see even the Indian food people are coming up with their takeout trucks too. Indian food.
I've seen Greek people doing Greek food here in town. I know where one's at right now.
Yep.
They do all Greek food.
But in Toronto, it's crazy. There's some streets, there would be 5 of them sort of back to back to back. So little like food districts.
There was an alley in San Francisco where there was like, they even put down fake grass on top of the concrete. And there's like
There you go.
there was 8 food trucks and they all had fake grass in between them. It was kind of cool.
That is. It's a good idea, right? Makes people feel a little more comfortable.
I'm glad the city allowed it.
Rickshaw business. Hire them all
Rickshaw.
to run them. I never saw that Seinfeld episode.
My friend has a rickshaw. We use it at the Renaissance Fair. Charge people when someone big enough wants to make money. We pull it out and let them run around people like a taxi for money.
Decent way to stay in shape and make some money at the same time.
It fits right in time period with the Renaissance Fair. I actually, back in 2001, when I left California the first time to go back to open up my Fairmobile, I brought it with me because Steve, my partner and friend, bought it, and I had to pick it up somewhere in California. I don't even recall when I had to pick it up, but I had to pick it up and transport it back to Pensacola. A rickshaw. It was fun. So what we got going on here in chat?
Lots of good stuff, man.
Winter squash last year. Radishes you can grow 10 times in one growing season. Interesting. I did not pick up my random potatoes this year, and by God, I'm gonna have a crap load of potatoes. And I didn't grow anything this year. I was leaving the soil be this year in the small garden area that I have out front.
Good.
And the volunteer potatoes came up with a passion. I was looking at it, I was like, damn. I took out most of the kale, and I thought I got most of the potatoes, but I guess I didn't. I have a crap load of potatoes coming up this year.
I'm surprised Nickel didn't join the panel. I guess there's nothing going on in sports these days.
No, he knows he doesn't want to join the panel because we don't talk about basketball. That's his channel, and I don't want to take away from his viewing hours.
I'm just
He's giving away great basketball information on anything other than his specific channel so that he gets the benefit of having the viewership who enjoy that content. How polite was that?
It's nice, very eloquent.
Yeah. Or in redneck terms, I don't want to hear that bullshit on my channel. Yeah, I can play. I know several dialects of English. We ain't into that kind of shit here, boy.
And the shorter the word, the more serious I am.
That's funny.
Yeah, Nickel is awesome. I really do like Nickel too.
I wish Constitutional would come around more.
Actually, like everyone in here is good people. There was a few people in here earlier that I don't think I'd met before. No, I know.
I know Pete. Repeat. I know him from Good Morning Stackers, and I've been with Good Morning Stackers since he had like 400 subscribers. He's got like 1,100 now. He's growing pretty decently. He was the one who started the Perth Mint YouTube site.
Right.
So he's actually got some, literal qualifications from working at an actual mint, doing the stuff that he's doing, so along with other stuff, I'm sure.
That's cool, Welchko. permanent gardens.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No. Oh my God. Oh, dude. I
Regenerative
actually,
agriculture.
if you did those berries, if you do boysenberry, blackberry, raspberry, if you do a combination of berries and you pay attention to the pollinators that you attract, my friend and I don't have communications with him anymore, but I talked him into doing his front fence line of the berries because he was having problems people jumping over his fence line. And the city council or the code enforcement was really hitting him too because he put up a electric fence and they actually called the cops on him. So I was like, man, just throw up berries. Fuck that shit. No one jumps over. So we went out and we got some free berries, a couple of different types of berries, put them up. They thrived. And we saw this bumblebee called the golden bear. You can look it up. The golden bear. They thought it was extinct in California until when we saw it. And that was when I was doing my bee thing. I was big in my bee thing. We took several pictures of it, and he's actually in charge of a harem of about 3 female bees. He's about almost 1.5 to 2 inches long. He's golden. That's why they call him the golden bear, the golden bee, because he's a golden brown, huge bumblebee. Travels with about 3 females that are such pitch black they almost have a hue of purple to them. And I was observing them one day, kind of like Newton and whatnot, just observing nature, seeing how they acted because they were kind of interesting to me. And this guy came up. He was about 12 to 16 inches in front of my face, and no matter where I went, he stayed there. So I broke out my camera. He stayed there and let me take a picture. And I sent it to UC Davis. And hey, what kind is this? And they were like, oh my God. So you'll be amazed at what kind of pollinators will come. Fennel too. If you have fennel, they draw a lot of pollinators.
Yeah, these guys were talking about liver and
Yeah.
food and stuff, and I put in there that my mom used to make chicken heart soup. And
Yeah.
the way she did it was actually pretty good. It was like, if you've ever had Italian wedding soup, have you ever had that?
No, I have not, but I can tell you right now, it probably, if done right, it was good. Because believe it or not, was it grilled gizzards?
No, hearts, chicken hearts.
Well, grilled gizzards of chicken gizzards are actually good if cooked good, and I never thought they'd be good.
Okay.
Yeah. So I can only imagine that a well-cooked chicken heart actually would be good. And that's all I'm saying right off the bat. No, I've never had one to my knowledge.
For anyone that's ever had Italian wedding soup, they've got the little sausages in it. And it actually tasted really similar to that. And the chicken hearts, it was almost like eating the little sausages out of there. But sorry, I know I kind of switched the topic a little bit.
No, you're more than welcome to. I don't even recall. There he is, Pete and Repeat. He's with Good Morning Stackers.
Right on.
Yeah, their morning time. He says he calls it Good Morning Stackers. He comes on at 2:30 Pacific time, so he's in Australia.
Right. Yeah, it depends where you are.
It's all good. That's just, worldwide stackers. There's time differences throughout the world, 24-hour time differences. So, it's cool.
It's actually amazing the time zone span across the U.S. if you include Hawaii.
Yeah, oh my God. There's like, from me to Steve Harloa, I think it's 4-hour time difference. He's in Hawaii, so there's there's 8 hours. We got one third of the time, world's time in American time zone.
That's right. Yeah.
And if we take Greenland, we'll have a little more than that. Also, Go
You
ahead.
know, that's one good reason not to annex Canada, because you're really not going to gain any new time zones.
Well,
That's
I,
a joke.
actually, I remember what the fifth one was. It was actually the Northern Territories of Canada. I think there's like 3 territories you have up there
Yeah.
that pretty much no one lives in.
A
And
lot of Inuit, also known as Eskimos, live up there. And
okay,
there's some industry for mining and I think
yeah, yeah.
military and energy and
It was like
communication.
Saskatchewan, Yukon, and one other. They said
North.
annexing those because Canada doesn't have the ability, and basically the same reason they said is a viable reason to force through pressure of international politics Denmark to selling Greenland to America, because they don't have the capability of extracting the resources due to the conditions of Greenland. It's very, very expensive for them. They don't have the infrastructure like we do to produce and do what it takes to pool all those resources out. So it'd be, other countries else have already said, yeah, America could be very easily get in there and start extracting those resources, and the world needs them. So, and pressure could be put on Denmark to sell Greenland to America. So I think it's the most likely one. And then if they want more, I could see a reason for going for the what is that, Yukon, Saskatchewan area, because ultimately the way the North Pole that's the Arctic, right? Yeah, okay. The Arctic region. There's already been a treaty on who owns what part of that, and they broke it down in like pie shapes, coming from geographical, not magnetic, but geographical North Pole wedge slices. As to, like, say, if you look at Russia and how much of Russia borders the North Pole, from one edge of Russia to the other wedge would go straight up to that geographic North Pole, and that's their claim of the North Pole area. Alaska has that for America, and then Canada has its part, and then Greenland has its part. So for that reason, I could see the attempted annex of those 3 districts of Canada, because if we did that, we would have over half of the North Pole.
I think Russia's poking around up there a lot more too. So I think there's
What they're concentrating on is, at least money wise, publicly, and I'm almost positive they are not mentioning everything they are doing, even more so than America. But publicly, what they have announced is this year, I think by the mid of next year, they're going to have the 3 largest icebreakers, nuclear-powered icebreakers on the planet, and they said they will be able to guarantee keeping the Northern Passage open 12 months out of the year. So if that's still on schedule, whatever China's doing with all this money they're doing on all these ports is going to be kind of useless, because
nice.
a lot of the northern ports are going to go just straight Northern Passage and not use the central and southern hemisphere ports that China owns, and they're pretty much going to go bankrupt.
That's good.
Yeah, no, and I've seen that coming. I did a report on that too, because it's 30% faster, so therefore the insurance is 30% cheaper. The manpower is 30% cheaper. The insurance for the men is 30% cheaper. The gas is 30% cheaper. 90. They said 90% of the world's shipping is going to go through there as soon as they can guarantee it's staying open and ships not getting icebound. And Russia, like a couple of years ago, started building these icebreakers, momentous size, that they said they'll be able to keep that Northern Passage open. So logically, that's what's going to happen. So that's what I know they've been doing up there. And above and beyond that, I do know I saw a report. Oh, I don't know when this was, and I might have done a show on it, because I did a show on America. Russia has reopened and modernized their deep water port that they had in the South or North Pole. They've modernized it, and it's a deep water port. So I guess that'll be for the shipping lanes that they have open. But they also reopened a couple of their military installations in the North Pole as well. But so have we. So. The more important thing to look at, and I was going to do a story on it. I saw it today. China and India. Oh man, I don't know why the main news media is not picked up on the story of how close they are to going to war with each other. They are so damn close. Every economic move they make in that part of their respective countries is based on a military buildup and an ease and convenience for a war. India actually dug a tunnel in record time through the mountains, the Himalayas area, so they could get their soldiers and vehicles to this certain area of India in like 30 minutes instead of like 6 hours. And they don't have to worry about avalanches or any of that other shit. Guaranteeing that they can keep those areas supplied. And there's nothing up other than Chinese.
Kashmir, nobody has still claimed it, right? They're still
it's PL 17. Let me get on the world map and I'll identify if it's near Kashmir. I'm not 100% certain. I have actually done several reports because actually the Indians killed like 40 Chinese in an attempted take of that land.
I thought it was Pakistan and
yeah, Kashmir. It's in the Kashmir area, and yeah, it is. Hold on,
Pakistan says it's theirs. India says it's theirs. So.
No, China says it's theirs because they built a road. There's a 3-mile stretch that keeps of Indian land that separates Pakistan from China, and China just decided to build a fucking road there without even talking to India, and that's part of the problem, because that's the one thing that separates India from or China from Pakistan is that one area. And there's another area in those little mountain range, and I don't see a name for that mountain range, but somewhere in that mountain range in one of those valleys, I'm presuming it's west of Baramulla. That's where I think it's Highway 1 there. That's where they seem to be fighting a lot and killing each other. There's some pass in that mountain range, and it's called PL 17. And it's the actual international border between China and India. But China, according to their maps, added that area to China, but they didn't like do anything other than just make a map that says they owned it. And then they started pulling troops in, and there was like, India was like, what the are you doing? So I don't know what China thinks they're doing, but yeah, there's fixing to be some major problems there because of India's not putting up with that crap. Like, nah. And they also tested ICBM, the first ICBM missile of a country since the 50s, I think, or something like that. And I did a video on that as well, right on the China-India border, sending a distinct message to China that if you mess with India, you're going to get a nuke shoved up your ass. At least that's the way I took it. And that's the way the news said that the Chinese took it. But hey, they're going to have great economic friendship because they're all in BRICS.
No, that's India leaves.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen. And they're going to drop South Africa too. It's not going to be BRICS. You take out the I and the S, and what do you have? I don't know. It doesn't sound like BRICS, though.
It'll be Brox. They'll make candy.
Brah. No S. There ain't going to be no South Africa. If they planned on saving South Africa, brother, Russia, which is in fact the leader of BRICS, would be restarting the nuclear power plants in South Africa so they could get their economies kicking again, and the second largest platinum supplier wouldn't be going bankrupt because of lack of power. But instead, Russia decided to build yourself two nuclear power plants in Egypt and one in Burkina Faso. Not even talking about doing anything, just to re-kickstart South Africa's nuclear program. So they've obviously already signed off on them, as they're going to kick them out because they're useless. But who knows? I could be totally wrong, and out of the blue, Russia will go down there and re-kick off their power, and it'll be a prosperous nation again. But since they signed a deal with China, and Russia don't really like China either, I'm thinking Russia's not going to help South Africa. But they damn sure doing a lot for West Africa, which I find interesting.
Yep.
Yep, what?
Yep. So,
Yep. Anyhow, yeah, we've talked about a lot.
yeah, we got to talk about
I don't know what
food.
they're going for. I don't know exactly what they're fighting for, other than the imaginary line that separates countries. Same as that imaginary line that separates states. And you can go from one person's property to the neighbor next door and leave Alabama and enter Tennessee and have a whole different set of laws just by going to visit your neighbor. It's like, huh? How does that work?
Yeah, no, I found that nobody in here likes calf liver.
You want to get kicked off this damn panel?
No, calf liver. We're talking about food.
Oh, calf. Okay, I thought you said cat. I was about to say, son, I'll be kicking you the hell out of here real fucking quick.
I
dog.
ain't from where was those people from?
Yeah.
Somalia.
Yeah, I ain't from there.
I was gonna say China. Even you never know.
Yeah, they've
Oh,
got.
they hang dogs in the market and sell them
I
for
was
food.
about to say Korea
That's
as
disgusting.
well. They have a dog meat market.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know how they can do that.
Well, this is what I will say, and it's not prejudice, but I will say this: we have a very, very high concentration of Vietnamese here in California because of the Vietnam War, and it's historically proven they were all put in Central Valley. We used to have abalone throughout the coast of California because it's like great white feeding ground. Otters, seal, everything goes there, right? And abalone would feed off the kelp. And the kelp started disappearing in the south, and so the abalone. And I was an abalone diver for a good decade. When it started out, we were allowed 4, and then 3, then 2, and then it became illegal because as much money as was spent trying to stop the poaching of them, apparently the Oriental sector stripped the whole coastline of abalone to where they're probably, well, it's a good chance they're going to be put on the endangered species level right now because of the illegal fishing that they did of them. And there used to be shitloads of them. And if you look over there right now, they kill lions just to get their penises so they can make a drink so they can go have sex with a whore and consider it better sex than if they hadn't have killed the lion and ate its penis. I mean, what the
Does that really work?
Man, that's too sick to even think about, man.
Yeah, I really doubt it. I think it's a psychological thing. I don't think it's a.
No, there's no aphrodisiac. I could almost guarantee you that. Chemically, I guarantee it's not.
Some snake oil salesman
Yeah,
came up with that idea.
yeah, some stupid shit. They also believe that a man that they call an emperor could live forever. So
Yeah. After the other dude died, and he took over, and then I'd like to turn to him and go, they think they're going to go. It's like the dude that.
Yeah, but you can't question them. If they go to the Forever City, you can't go there as a peasant, so you don't know if they're alive or dead.
Well, the king of Israel, back in the day when he heard Jesus and he was going to be king, and he tried to kill all the boys that would be his age, and I'm thinking, going, if I'd have been there, I'd have got killed. I'd have said, "You think you're gonna live forever?" I said, "By the time this kid gets big enough to be old enough to be a king, you'll be dead anyway, you idiot." Of course, I would have been my head cut off or something for saying that, but
No, because they wouldn't have listened to the fucking street sweepers back then, anyhow, brother.
it just, I mean, it's like, and people today do that. You go to a funeral, and man, better them than me. That's what we probably all deep down think. But it's going to, everybody's day's coming, and it's like, I'm thinking you're going to be probably the next one, but you don't think that like that when you're, either you're dead or alive. If you're alive, you don't think that way.
This is what you think about when you're alive about being dead. Is in 100 years, will your name be talked about?
No, mine won't.
And then change life.
Well, that's right out of the movie Troy.
I don't want to be talked about.
I don't want to be talked about.
I want to be forgotten. Because if there's anything they're going to talk about me, it can't be good. You remember that old jackass? Oh, that nickel stacking? Yeah, I remember him. I don't want them saying that.
Oh, it'll just be 79, I think.
Yeah, she'll be depressed. She'll be going, "Oh, what could it be?" No.
Yeah, that's great. And then I'll be like, "Oh, you never know what you got till it's gone."
Yeah. I think Emerald's there. I'm interested in what Emerald's saying. What do they do with this penis? Do they use it instead of their own, or eat it, or what do they do? I ain't never heard this before. So
dry it up as a powder, and then consume it.
Oh, so it's like Viagra. They probably launch for like 5 hours or something.
Yeah, there's no truth to it though. Like, there's actually dog treats that are made out of a similar sort of thing. They're called pizzle sticks.
I've never used Viagra because I've never had to. Thank the Lord. But I mean, don't you think once people start using that like your body expects it? So like, what I'm trying to say is a guy that's normal, let's say a guy in his 20s, and he can, he's got no problem, but he abuses that in order for him to have more fun more often in a short period of time. You know what I'm getting at? Won't his body get to the point where it says, "Hey, we work, but you want this, so now you'll have to have that now on, even in 20s and your 30s, in order to get everything to work," or what? What do you think?
I'm pretty sure it's not a good idea to.
I would think so too, because I would think you're taking over. The body won't know to do what it needs to do when it needs to do it, and then you're going to have to probably use that the rest of your life. That's what I figure.
Well, what I have to say is this: if the little man don't work, have your heart checked out.
Well, I think diabetics can cause it. What's all this? There's like all kinds of different things you have that can cause it. So,
well, they'll come up with more, but basically, you have a bad heart. If you still wake up with a Woody, you got good blood circulation, which means your veins and arteries are clean, your heart's pumping good.
Oh, I'm pumping good.
That's an indicator of your heart and arteries and veins.
If you can lift the table, you're all right.
Yeah. If you can hammer a nail into a 2x4.
if you can hold up somebody at a bank. Oh, my Lord. All right. I always wondered about that because not like I'm going to bring somebody on live and interview them. Oh, you use them blue pills?
That's right. Do it on Neil's show.
Yeah, so I said I'll waste it on Neil's show. Yeah. So man, I don't know, but how about oysters? Is it true what they say about them and everything?
You don't eat them on months in the Y, and then Y.
Huh?
Don't eat oysters on months in and Y.
Well, oysters. People Friday night eat oysters. They got the honey there. Come on, baby. And I just figured they're supposed to enhance everything. Is what I understand. I think it's true about what's the stuff you used to put in cough medicine.
I heard seafood, like
Cocaine?
seafood in general.
Codeine. Yes, I hear that does enhance things. That's all I can tell you. That's what I heard. But it does.
Yeah, consuming lots of soybean products will definitely help you out.
It also hurt you.
Kidding, just kidding.
Soybean is no bueno.
What codeine does is slows the process down, and I think you experience pleasure longer. But I think that's right. I'm not a doctor.
Hey,
I already-
I got an interesting thing that doesn't involve any drugs whatsoever. It's called elongated foreplay.
Well, I was, I've already been
Yeah, it
accused I'm a
requires
doctor.
patience. Most people
I've
don't
already
have.
been accused I was a doctor on Rocky because of something I said. I won't say it here because, Neil's on thin ice. Hell, it is. And so I won't say it here, but Barb just said, where'd you get?
Oh shit! I hit the wrong button.
What, did you mute him?
Hell yeah! I know he was going to say it.
Yeah,
I didn't
Neil's
say
quick.
that.
No, but you were going to.
No, I wasn't going to say it.
All right. Well,
How'd you know? What was I going to say?
was it fuck you?
No.
Oh, well, that's what I said. So there you go.
It was something to do with Ricky Henderson's death. And,
And you want to get muted again, right?
no, I just said what I thought the cause was over there
And blah, 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 blah.
at Rockies.
That's right.
And so I got the 3rd degree because I said that. Well, when I become a doctor, when I have a medical degree. So everybody here knows that Ricky Henderson died at 65, right? I know JM does.
Yeah, I think I saw that on your
Yeah.
profile picture earlier.
All I see is bricks.
Yeah, so when you've got that banner up, it removes showing people's channel name. If you take that banner down anytime you want the channel name to show, then there you go. Well, he switched his name too to another brick in the wall. Yeah, we got to be careful. YouTube already gave Neil a spanking.
What was it? Medical? Is what it was over?
Yep.
Oh, that must have been what we was talking about on the other channel. And they might nail Rocky again. Rocky will be ticked off at me. He will never forgive me if that happens. So
Yeah, he's had a tough go. But, like he doesn't do a whole lot of other videos. I know he does some from time to time. But with
his best ones are his mechanical. If he would do them on a regular basis, he don't have time. But if he did them on a regular basis, oh man, he'd have 10, 15, 20,000 subs and probably would be quite a few views if he would do that. Because those do well.
All he needs is a tripod and camera, right? And just hit record when he starts.
No, look at Emerald. Emerald's baiting me. Emerald's baiting me to get me in trouble.
Yeah.
Well, technically, he died of pneumonia. It's how he got the pneumonia. That's the part. When you're 65, you just don't die of pneumonia. When you're healthy, you lift weights, you work out, you're still athletic. It don't happen. Same thing happened to Marvin Hagler. You remember Marvin Hagler, the great boxer? Same thing happened to him. He was running.
He's going to go there and say it. I know it. He just won't get off that topic. Now he's mentioned someone else.
I'm not going to say it. I promise. I'm just talking about people that died mysteriously. That's all.
Let's change the subject about people who are alive unmysteriously.
Yeah, that's right. It's actually something to celebrate that we made it through that.
Heck yeah.
Came
Now
up
it's
the
time
other
to make
side.
it through 2025. Get ready.
So did you get it? You just got a warning?
Last morning.
Mm.
They didn't give me multiple warnings. I got one warning, then I got a strike one time. And then
I was running off 2 strikes for about a year, and then all of a sudden it cleaned up, and they left me alone for quite some time, just deleting stuff randomly. Well, not randomly. And then this time they said, "This is the last time you're gonna get a strike. You do it again."
they were nice to you. Well, they took my Louisville video down when they was having the riots. I got in trouble for that. I'm going, you got to be kidding me. This is like news. It's not anything copyrighted or nothing. And I was just reporting on what was going on right here in Louisville. And I don't know what I said, but it must have been something that they took that was I don't know. And maybe race related or something. I didn't.
It sucks when you don't know what the goalposts are. You know,
They keep changing, so it doesn't really matter. It's a waste of time to know if they keep changing.
That's right. Tread lightly.
Yeah. Whatever. Hopefully, more companies get scared of this Doge committee, because Elon already cleaned up one censorship asshole. And Google's going to need Trump to open up fucking Russia so they can get back in there and do business again, because they already screwed Russia hard. They screwed that up real bad. So
Yeah,
they're going to need Trump. So they've got one more month to clean their stuff up before they stop censoring us so bad.
Look at Emerald. He's trying to get me in trouble. Now look at that. Well, he dropped dead, Emerald, very suddenly. Oh, I can say suddenly, can't I?
Nickel, one way to stop talking about it is to stop talking about it.
I got to
Doesn't
address
matter
the
what
weight.
other people say. You just can stop talking about it. That's all.
Okay.
It's real simple. No one needs to push a button if you don't let them push the button. Don't let them push the button. I got a button. I'll push it.
Pushing buttons.
Push the button. Reminds me of Jackie Chan and what was that, Rush Hour 3, where that little Chinese girl was in there? Was that 2? I think it was Rush Hour 3. We had the black comedian partner.
Chris Rock. No, it wasn't Chris Rock. It was the guy Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
He said, "Don't you know not to touch a black man's radio?" Yeah.
And she was in there. She had a bomb on her. She's, push the button. Yeah, push the button. Little girl. It was in that movie. I was just quoting it. Quoting the movie. Good night, Wesco. Thank you for showing up, my man.
Of course, we could always talk about sports. That won't get you in trouble.
We can talk about let's see, what can we talk about? We can talk about
Gemstones.
I didn't hear, I actually saw an article on a company that claims they can make a diamond that's not synthetic. And I scrolled over, I didn't pay attention to that article. But actually I should have, because it's more interesting now I think about it. I wonder if they use coal to make the diamond and actually have some sort of a pressure. And
It would take a long time to speed up the process of like
no, not really. You probably do it in a couple hours. I just wonder how much they have a carbon substance they have to start with to push down. I don't know the process.
You seed. It's called seeding. You take a small. It's kind of like DNA.
This is a new technology. How long has the seeding been around? That's how you build a synthetic diamond. This was not. They specifically said this is real diamond, not synthetic.
I
And they
believe. I
said
believe.
they can build them or grow them or something like that. I didn't pay attention to the article, but it was rather interesting. It made me concerned, and when I do get some more money and I want to buy some more natural gems and just keep them on hand, because I think one day they'll be more valuable, because there's going to be so many fake gems out there that were man-made.
Yeah.
You should do a live at one of these. Matter of fact, I almost invested in one of the companies that was the leader in reproducing diamonds through seeding and process. I started to get in there and invest in it. I was very close to it because I knew it was the future. And you could do, if you went in there, if they let you with the cameras, I don't think they would let you with your cell phones record certain things, but they would definitely talk to you. And they would show you what the equipment looked like. What I saw looked like a gigantic hairdryer. And you put it in there, then you seal it up like you seal a hairdryer up, and then you hear knocking sounds or something, and it's just like so many days it's done, depending on the size you want. And that's how I think they do it. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it'll make natural gems more valuable, because a lot of people don't like the fakies.
It took forever. When they first had this technology and were doing it, yeah, the women were against it. Now, with the environmental movement becoming bigger and bigger and save Earth and all this crap,
Yeah.
now they're actually probably more accepted now than ever, and maybe even pretty soon it's going to be stylish to have the seeded lab grown diamond over a natural, because it's going to be perfect. They can make them perfect. I mean, who wouldn't want a perfect diamond?
And that makes them less valuable.
It did. It did at one time, but now I think the tide is turning.
It just depends on demand.
No, I think if you flood the market with a perfect diamond, you have too many perfect diamonds, and if you have too many perfect diamonds, the price goes down on perfect diamonds. It's called supply and demand.
Well, no,
if you can mass produce them, then they'll actually become
they become worthless.
Well, that's what's driving natural diamonds prices down right now.
Be like rhinestone, right?
I just know the principle. I can't throw an exact company model out there that followed that principle.
And then you got moissanite. Moissanite is different than a diamond, but yet has a lot of the similarity qualities of a diamond. It's not quite as hard as a diamond, but if there's a fire, if you have a fire, the diamonds will go gone. The moissanite will stay there and be just like it was. A fire won't hurt a moissanite. So you don't need fire insurance for a moissanite unless it's cover the gold in the ring.
All I know is they're finding a lot of new gem deposits in different areas of the world that are pretty significant as far as that gem and its natural worth or value. And it's going to keep the price up on the actual value of natural gems over the man-made gems, because I go back to, once you can make one, you can make 2, 3, 4, you can make 10,000, and it's like when people look at crypto, they look at how many are in circulation, how much are they allowed to make, 1 million, 5 billion, 7 billion, and they can tell you things about the company by how many shares of the crypto coin they put out. It's the same thing. People look at it and go, oh, this is fucking Ponzi bullshit. It's not going to be worth nothing, and they'll instantly look, and so that's a problem I see with these man-made gems. I'm not saying it will happen right off the bat, but eventually it will happen, because
moissanite has got the same problem as diamonds. What happened was De Beers lost control of the market and with 3 lawsuits, and once they did, then more diamonds came onto the market. It lowered the price for the first time like in history. It lowered it. And moissanite, the same thing. There was like 1 or 2 people that had the exclusive rights to moissanite, and now they don't have that right anymore. And so now a bunch more Moissanite's on the market. So it's really knocked the price of Moissanite down too.
What's up, Gerald? I like the gems that I see coming out or being discovered in East Africa. I think they're kind of cool that they're discovering them over there. I'd like to see that trend continue moving forward.
But if you're going to invest in gemstones, the best ones is colored diamonds, and I would say natural, and I would say tanzanite. Those, and of course, always ruby. I mean, rubies, because if you get the rubies from Larimar, if you get those because we go back and forth. They're illegal to have in here. They're not illegal to have in here. They're illegal to have. So those can always be a winner if you get those. If you get like 1.5 to 2 carat, you need to get decent sized ones. And then, so that's the ones. I think if they ask me, that would be the 3 types of gemstones. If you're going to invest in gemstones, that's what I would go after.
Yeah, the natural colored diamonds are really quite rare.
Yeah, a lot rarer than white diamond. And
Great.
so I saw a little purple that was like a 1/2 carat, and they wanted. I saw it was such a good diamond. They would want like $200,000 for it.
Yeah, that's like investment grade diamonds.
Yeah.
That's not, your typical stuff.
And what's the precious metal company? Money Metals. At one time, Money Metals had a program where you bought in, like in a group. You had it was still expensive, but you bought in, and it was colored diamonds, and you could be part owner of it. And
I wouldn't do that.
Well, people were making money, but I just don't think the people were making money. I don't think Money Metals thought it was worth it for what they were getting out of it, so they quit. But they used to have it when you could invest. They offered me to invest in what do you call that? A pie, not a pie. I can't think of the word right now what it is, but everybody like owns. You pay so much for a per share of that diamond, and then if they sell it, if they could get a price,
A time share of the diamond. Your old lady can only wear it 2 days a year.
No, they keep the diamond. They keep it. It's just that
you're just investing in it. You're
right.
A part owner.
It's not really a physical investment, because really the only thing says you own part of it is that piece of paper you got. So, gotcha. And I do that with art. I bought into originals, and I have like a certain percentage of that painting. I own it.
That's cool.
So you buy paper silver?
No, I do not. I do not do that. No.
But you buy paper artwork.
Well,
I didn't know you're into art like that. That's cool.
Oh gosh, I've got 2,500 or 3,000 pieces of art. Sculpture, paintings, limited prints, originals. Some are like they're remakes, but there's only like 200 of them. I've got one. So, I'm in all that stuff. I'm in a lot of investments, but I'm not in crypto. I'm just not. I look at it and I go, nope. I hate cryptos. And here's Gerald in here just in time for me to talk because it kills him. He does not like it. I'm old and fogey, and I'm a caveman. What can't you call me? What can't you call me, Gerald? I kind of think it's funny. I like it. I think I ought to change my ID name to that. He called me. What was it he calls me?
It's like a Monday or something like that.
I don't know. It's something means that you're like against technology or something.
Yeah.
Old man?
Well, no, I'm that too, but. And so are you. We're senior citizens now. I don't know. I think, JM, you're in your 40s, ain't you?
No, I'm 52.
Oh, you're a senior citizen too.
What?
I want to get that senior citizen discount, dude. If you're going to call me senior, I want the discount.
Yeah.
And it should be
I look at it as you're as old as you feel.
That's
Right?
about
And
the
I
same, man.
still feel like I'm in my 40s.
Well, see, I got arthritis in my shoulder, probably my wrist, my ankles, and I know my knees are messed up.
Nichols just going for disability. That's all.
My knees are shot, dude, because I used to have to get down for strike zones. I had to get down on like one knee, and man, I tore them up.
That's
I
tough.
didn't think that at the time I was going to do that. I'm sure they both need to be replaced. And I'm like, I can't believe that just doing that with those shin guards on could tear your knees up like that. Luddite, thank you, Zardos. You get a star, my brother. So, yep, a Luddite. He calls me. I like that. I like it. When people insult me, usually I like it. I like abuse. So I like that. I said, and then he explained to me what it was. I said, man, I like that.
That's why 79 is your destiny.
No, I don't know. Yeah. But Luddite, it sounds like Amish, something Amish or something.
It does, yeah. Mennonite.
I'm got to start having a wagon and horses on it.
What is it, a mineral or a gem?
Oh, man, Emerald's got the... I tell you, that's why Emerald's a good interviewer. He is the best. I'm going to be honest with you. He's the best in the community. And, I think he thinks I put him on or something. I'm really saying he could do it professionally on TV at 11:30 at night. I'm telling you, he could do it. He's missed his calling.
Why wouldn't he do the midnight crowd? It's a little bigger.
He's got the voice. He's got the... he makes the person he has on there like Johnny Carson. I mean, I'm serious. He really could do it. And so he asked the question. So my top... I can never think of the artist because I'm terrible with names because I'm a senior citizen now. And I probably got brain damage.
Nice excuse.
The guy that did the flowers, I can tell you, in 1967, the flowers...
I'm waiting to collect the check, Emerald.
He's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Gosh dang it! And he had a crush on. I can tell you everything about him, but his name. And he had a crush on the Doors lead singer. He gave him something, and the guy, the lead singer for the Doors, Morrison, said, "What the heck is this?" And he threw it away or gave it to somebody. But I cannot think of his name right now. Who is the guy from Pittsburgh? They got a museum. He's got a museum in Pittsburgh. I like to see it sometime. Anyway, I got his original. I'm investing in his original, which is worth millions. And I don't have that big a piece of it, but I got a piece of the pie. Then I have a guy out of Florida got buried in his car. Name some artists, I'll tell you who it is. Give me some names. I've got some nice reproductions of Picasso, even though I can't stand him. I can think of his name because I don't like him. He was a skunk. The way he did his family, I didn't like him. But I've got some nice pieces from him. Who is the guy that has Warhol? Way to go, Mr. Blues. I got the original 1967 Andy Warhol of the flowers. I've got I own part of that. A handful that own that.
Da Vinci?
No, Da Vinci's impossible to get anything of.
Rembrandt?
I've got some nice reproductions of Rembrandt. They're from the 1950s and 60s and stuff. No,
Van Gogh?
I've got some Van Gogh reproductions limited and all that. I've got some of that. Dolly. I've got Dolly, one of 200. It thing's worth $30,000. And I got that on an auction, local auction, and I knew it was the real deal because it came from the East End of Louisville. And the East End of Louisville is rich. These people use $100 bills to wipe their butt. And so they're like, they don't even know what they got. To them, junk, to me, would be worth a lot. To them, it'd be junk. But anyway, she sold her estate. She had a relative that was the head of the artist association or something, knew all the artists. And I knew it probably was real. And then later I found out that the 3D looking glasses they had, looked like a magnifying glass, but it made you see the picture different. That come with it. And then once I found that out, I knew I had the real deal because only that came with it. And you had to get there one of the original redos, what you want to call it, reproductions. you got that with it. And I did bid on those, but she had it separate auction. And somebody beat me out on that. I wish I had it. So I've got that. That's 30 grand. Then I have one, and I'm not for sure. I can't remember who. Oh, the guy that did. Oh, yeah. You remember the card players? It's real famous. It's like a top 5 painting.
Yeah.
I've got the etching
Playing
from that.
poker.
Huh? Yeah, they're playing
Playing
poker.
Yeah.
And I've got one of the dudes that's in there, and it is a etching, and it is very extremely rare. There's probably maybe 10 in the world, and I got that one. It may have been the same woman, and someone contacted me after I put it up, because I just put it up to see if anybody would want to make me a decent offer to buy it. And the guy said, someone told me, said, I think that is the one I saw in a museum. So whether or not it's stolen, I can't tell you, but it was apparently in a museum for a while, and I've got that one. And that would be my top 3. My top 3 picks right there. Unless there's one I don't know, because someone told me once, get your stuff appraised. I go, do you know how long it would take to go through 2,500 or 3,000 paintings? And do you know he's going to want something for each one he appraises? Whether it's $5 or it's 500,000, it don't matter.
You'd be better off just having an appraiser stop by on site and just kind of give him an idea.
Yeah, but you'd have to pay his room and keep. You'd have to pay him something an hour every hour he's there. It would be very expensive. Let's put it to you that way. So,
Well, you know what an entrepreneur would do is he'd get familiar with artwork and determine what he had himself, and only take that he could almost confirm to himself as being valuable as someone else to confirm his research.
Yeah.
And that way you lower the amount that you have to take to the professional because you did your own research.
But I can tell you, it's hard to find. But I can tell you, I've only seen, like, I got one book that has this smaller picture in it, and I think it was in a museum. But it don't give you prices. It kind of gives you a background on it. And this book was really old, like 1940s, 1950s. So I know it's really old. And it could be. I think it's etching. So you're looking at it's going to be under 100 grand, but it could be 75,000. So that might be actually the most actual valuable piece that I have.
Nice.
But I'm betting between 50 and 75,000 for that one.
So why don't you have a pair of new shoes?
I did. I bought me some new shoes.
Why don't you wear them?
Well, I'm on the couch right now. Well, I'll be wearing shoes on the couch. But I had it.
On live streams, you usually have socks on too. So I'm just curious.
I am breaking them in, so when I get ready for my lawn service next year to start up, it'll be broken in, and my feet won't be hurting.
There you go. No
that's
blessing.
why I get them that's why I waited to get them in the winter months, so I could break them in before I had to really. I don't want blisters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I got it. I got them. Same exact pair I had before, except new. And the woman that was there waiting on me, I said, I did everything, but she was there to find them for me. And the pair they had out to show was the pair of my exact size. I go, oh man, I'm lucky, because I thought it would take me an hour to find the right size and all. And she said, those like the ones you got on? I said, yeah. I said, these are, I thought they were gray, she said. I said, no, they're black. They just used, they're old. I think I had them 3 years.
Wow, that's long. I only get like 1 year out of a pair of shoes.
But another problem selling art, you got this thing called postage. And you would crap your pants if you knew how high it was to send something. They wanted 1,000, I think, for me to send this one. And I wouldn't even get in that fort on this one picture I had. It was something with something Picasso did. And I go, there's no way I can pay $1,000 to mail it if I'm not getting more than 1,000 for the fort. So that's what's hurt. The postage has gone up so high, it's very hard for me to have a mail and ship sale.
So it might be like it was a rigged market to start with, huh? Kind of like timeshares.
Well, and plus glass, I don't care what they put it in. If you don't have it personally delivered, like by a van, you hire somebody to do it, it's not going to get there without the glass being broken on it. That's for a fact.
Right.
You can holler.
I gotta get going here. I got an early day tomorrow.
Right on. Merry Christmas, man. Yeah, we've been going about 4 hours. I'm going to be ending it here shortly, anyhow.
Okay. Merry Christmas, everybody. Enjoy the week ahead. We'll see you soon.
Right on. You take care, brother.
Thanks, everyone.
See that eye right there? That's a piece of artwork I have. I just downloaded it. No, actually, it's a photographer. I know people don't pay attention to it, but in the background on the walls, all the
But
photos on the walls are mine.
I showed the pieces I talked about. I showed it on a video. It was one of my art videos. I think I've only done like 3 art videos on my channel. It was one of those. So yeah, I'm big into art.
Sweetness. I have tattoos.
I've got a storage locker full, a shed full, the garage is full, and I've got a few nearby. The ones I think are more valuable are inside here, so I can watch them. I got some of that Granny. What was her name? Granny. I can't remember. I got like 2 or 3 of her. Those are decently valuable for a more modern piece.
I know jack squat about art. So I'm keeping my mouth shut. That
person that contacted me, I'll go, because you think it could have been an agent. I don't know. They was asking me a lot of questions like, "Where'd you get that?" Da, 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 da. And he go, "I'm pretty sure that was so and so piece in a so and so art gallery or something." So, and they do get stolen. I don't know. They stole the Mona Lisa, and I mean, it was under heavy guard, the latest security system, and they still stole it. So there is no total security on anything. If they can take the Mona Lisa and steal it, the original, there is no stopping it, I guess. There's just people smart enough to outwit stuff.
Who said they authenticated the original and not a fake?
I don't know. You'd have to ask the administrators and stuff, but yeah, it did get stolen. I don't know. I think they probably recovered it. I don't know. But there are originals.
I could imagine not reporting it stolen because you didn't have insurance on it and then reselling it to get the money out of it and it going down like that through history. That would not surprise me at all. Matter of fact, that kind of what I think probably happened. I don't think the Mona Lisa is the Mona Lisa. I think it's a copy. Because there ain't nothing ever not been taken by an individual that wanted it throughout time to be not taken.
Well, the Nazis took a bunch of art originals, and the families that owned it to this day still are trying to get that art back. But the Nazis stole. What was the guy headed Luftwaffe or whatever, that big fat dude? Yeah, the big fat dude. He took a bunch of art.
Most every piece of artwork in Europe was taken.
Goering, he took a bunch of it. Fat slob.
Well, it is what it is.
Yep, you're right, Emerald. You're right, but a lot of them are. I would say my best ones are not there. So,
humidity will do that. I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream. I will probably do a couple of news lives throughout the week, but if not, I'll definitely be back next Sunday. Thank you very much. Another brick in the wall, aka 888 something, also known as Nickel, the lawnmower guy who wears socks on live streams.
Well, probably because I had it and I had it folded down so they could hear the speaker. I probably was probably doing a interview with somebody and then replaying it, and then you probably saw my feet.
Good night, C4. Thanks, Silver, and everyone else, Emerald, everyone who hung out, who's left around, and Nickel. I will talk to y'all later.
And you didn't get stopped. Look, you made it. You made it 4 hours, and YouTube didn't interfere.
Yeah, they can still take it down in an hour or two. Yeah,
I don't think they won't. There's nothing we did wrong.
You guys have a good evening. I'll talk to you later.
I'll see y'all.